everybody. Welcome to this is episode 3 since we did the rebooted the Mastermind podcast. I got Agent Russ and Jordan on stream here. Jordan, Russ, thanks for joining. Welcome.
Thank you for having us again. We're missing
I think
D
we're
today,
all on each
but
other's stream right now.
yeah. By the way, Jordan, you click on the lounge and then go to mini. I don't know if you can see the mini, and then that should bring up just the chat.
Oh, but yeah, we are missing D today. We're trying to get a time where all of us are there, but a time zone issue. So we're gonna have to just rotate the time around, and we'll make it work. It's fine. But yeah, what have you guys been working on since then? Russ, you want to kick it off?
All right. So when I get active time, I don't have much active time these days. So I pretty much did in the entire month, maybe did like 5,000 kills. That's mostly like hunting for entire month. And then when I'm AFK, mostly cooking and then processing maybe flowers or dough if I can. Since this event is running, I'm trying to keep up with these insects as for people who don't know, like you get like these insects, like 10 million worth of insects from gathering, and then you give this to Liana, and then it gives you a 5 hours buff, and this buff give you like 30% life XP minus 1 second cooking alchemy time, which is the main reason we are getting it. And then obviously you get like extra 50 mastery, 100 weight, and 10% processing success rate. So the drop rate is not that great if you're not lucky. Sometimes you spend like over 500 600 energy not even getting one. So make sure you have a lot of energy pots in hand ready. Sometimes you might go to a gathering spot with the double mini game event. The energy is running out very quick, and if you are there for like insects, maybe just turn off the mini game if you're going low with energy. But otherwise, keep the mini games going just in case if you can get that jackpot. So today I was lucky.
Russ, for those insects, can you stack them up? Like, can you get multiple and just keep them in your inventory, or do they expire?
No, I don't know if you can see on my screen right now. I have like 6. I got 6 today, and
okay.
Yeah, you just you store in storage. Just like a
okay. So.
Yeah. And
if you spent a day gathering, you can have like enough for a week or something.
If you can get a jackpot, like you can probably get like 10x from a mini game if you are lucky. I think Jordan said he got one. That's pretty much gonna cover you a few days.
Yeah,
I've gotten probably like, I don't even know, probably like 4 jackpots so far. I have like 40 of them.
Well, then again, you're exclusively gathering right now.
I'm gathering like at least 4 hours every day.
Yeah, why don't you tell us what you've been up to since our last podcast?
Like Russ was talking about, this little Liana is who you go talk to get these insects. Basically, you get it from gathering. I think you can get it from hunting as well. And then it gives you a 30% life XP buff for 5 hours and a minus cook time, minus alchemy time.
Yeah.
And then with the mini.
And what happens after the event ends? Do they just turn into like NPC fodder, or can you still turn them in?
I don't know. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm hoping that I can still exchange them.
I don't think you can, probably because it's an event. The reason I'm saying you can't is because if you can see my screen, we used to have an event called like Unknown Herb. And, this one is a different NPC, Delician. And then I have like 10 extra and they just disable the quest. So the quest doesn't exist. So this normally give like 10 hours buff. Same with like minus 1 second cooking time. So like these ones, we can't deliver. They just disable the quest when the event is over. So I assume it's going to be the same for that one. Like if you want to sell to NPC for 10 million, you can. Otherwise, maybe wait if that event is going to come back again. Like I'm keeping these herbs 10x, just in case if they bring the same event and I can use it.
Right.
Oh yeah, I could hoard those.
But on a wagon, just put on a wagon, if you have like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then also they're doing a double mini game. So they basically, instead of 5% chance of getting a mini game, now you have a 10% chance.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah. So basically, it's buffed gathering a lot. Like now you're able to make like over $1 billion an hour just gathering,
What?
which I think they should keep just permanently in the game.
Agreed.
Because then it would balance gathering with hunting.
Yeah. No, that's. I'd love that. I'd love to see that because, like hunting, you're just so limited with what you're going after. It's just the same 2 spots or 3 spots, and there's no diversity in.
Right. And gathering
You
has a
know.
lot more different things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm basically trying to take advantage of underwater gathering, and since you get double the mini games,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like more XP. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm pushing XP really hard.
Nah, that's awesome. Everything lined up for you, Jordan. You got the life XP, you got the double event, you got your 24-hour buff going.
Exactly.
This man planned it out. Mastermind right there.
More like underwater exploiting, go say.
It's not exploiting. Look.
It's the use of the game mechanics, okay?
Exactly. I randomly discovered it too. Like I wasn't even purposely intentionally like, oh, I wonder. It was more like I wanted to see if coral crystals procced on the mini game, and then I saw that they did, and then I just noticed the XP, and I was like, oh
Crazy.
man.
Oh, that's insane, man. But yeah, what's the plan today? What are we talking about here? Why don't you run us through and kick it off?
Jordan came up with
So
a lot
before-
of ideas, and I'm like, oh, which one he's gonna pick? I'll go spontaneous. I didn't actually, read them through. So
Yeah. So first, I think we should just start off the podcast with the current patch notes that just came out,
Oh,
and
hey.
and then we can go through like all the random question things that I came up with.
Oh, so do you think we need a Marni gathering spot or hunting?
Um,
I wouldn't mind
Hmm.
hunting, but it's not that crowded. Mostly you find a spot.
Okay, that's good.
But
yeah.
we have like only single sniper hunting spot. Maybe a variation of sniper hunting spots will be good. Like maybe like a spot that's more dense with like bears and a spot more dense with pigs. And also the train over there, it's not designed properly and it's buggy. Like sometimes you scope in and you aim a mob. The mob is there, but it say like no target. It doesn't give you like X. Like it doesn't give you like the red. But the mob is just
Right.
like you are just right in front of the mob, and so you have to like move around and trying to get a different angle. So yeah, the sniper hunting is buggy at the moment in that sense.
Okay.
Like the hitbox doesn't show up, and sometimes you see like a mob like far away, and you see a hitbox, and then a mob like 5 feet away, and you can't get a hitbox.
All right. Yeah, the reason why I asked about the Marni realm is because in the recent patch notes they buffed Marni realm so that it recharges every day. Recharges when you're not in the Marni realm, actually, not every day. Before you just have an hour and 5 minutes every 24 hours of the Marni realm, but now after you use up your Marni realm, you can just wait outside and it just in a 1-to-1 ratio it recharges. So every other hour you can pretty much do a Marni.
Does it recharge offline? Like if you're not online?
I believe so. Chat, can anyone confirm? I actually didn't check that. But this was one of the big buffs. It does not. Okay. Rip. Anyway.
So, rip people who turn off their PCs.
I mean, it's fine. Like the fact that they really pushed these kind of changes. Like one, the guild wars are no longer single-sided. Both sides have to accept the deck. Like one person sends the deck, the other has to accept it. So,
Oh,
I'm
that
not sure
makes
how
sense. That makes sense. It would avoid griefing, but yeah, there's always gonna be a one side is happy and the other side is not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Go ahead, Jordan.
I was gonna say, so like what, like people like people can still flag up though, right? And
Yeah, but they also made karma family wide.
okay.
So you got to be a lot more careful with how you're spending karma. You can't just have one character you're flagging up on people. Now all your characters can go red at the same time if you know lose all your karma. So that made griefing like there's more potential to grief, but I haven't seen it yet luckily, and you know there's just so many grind spots now at every stage of the game. You have a lot of variety on what you can grind and where you can grind. So, and you're making good money in pretty much all stages now. So I haven't seen much griefing, but it's like people can go and karma bomb you and force you out of a spot if they wanted. But you know, it's a very rare thing to happen. Only a special few ever, you know, go through that effort. But
Yeah,
it, yeah,
that would be interesting for them to add it to gathering and hunting. It doesn't really
money.
happen that often, like griefing.
Yeah,
I would say like pilgrims can get fucking overwhelmed with a bunch of people, and that would be
yeah.
nice to have.
Okay, medic. Come on, man. Yeah, it's like one other thing was that people are worried that it's making the game feel a bit more empty and PvP less active. Like the night before the patch, like we were in Calpheon 3 and there was a bunch of guilds just GVGing until like 3 in the morning until the servers went down and stuff. Like everyone was decking everybody. It's like, all right, it was our last day of open world guild wars and stuff. So
But
uh,
people can still set it up though, right? Like as long
yeah,
as both guilds. So technically, it's still the same. It's just the griefing won't happen, basically.
yeah, people won't deck so to push you out of a grind spot or anything. I mean, they'll still send the deck, but most people probably won't accept it. But a strong guild probably isn't going to get much guild war fights out of this, and you know, there's two sides of the argument. I mean, it's a tough call to make from PA side, and I don't think they made it lightly. But I guess it was a long time coming, and
Maybe they can
personally,
expand the
yeah,
Arsha servers. Like
I
instead
mean,
of having one
Arsha,
Arsha, they can have like 5 Arsha, and then if people
that's
want to
just
be
gonna kill our.
competitive, then they can.
Ah, that just kills Arsha more. Like, people are already complaining there's not enough PP on Arsha,
Mm.
and people just go to Arsha to grind
But
mostly, and it's already pretty
like
empty.
if someone is like a very hardcore PvP player, like what enjoyment would they get from griefing someone or trying to kill someone who is just there purely for PvE, and maybe they are just learning the character, maybe they don't play the game for PvP, so they have absolutely no chance. And like I personally never enjoy, like I'm normally like a PvP player, and like I never enjoy just going randomly trying to kill someone while they are busy with doing something else, or like it's just not like my thing. Like I would never enjoy, like, because maybe they are new to class, maybe they are just there with the PvE gear, PvE buff. It's just not unfair. Like you are going there like with 750 gear score, and someone is there maybe like 650 gear score trying to grind, and then you just like, yeah, to me it sounds griefing. So if the other side is not accepting, they shouldn't be able to
Yeah, I mean,
deck on them.
I don't mind the deck change, and personally, I hated like having a lot of decks out because I like to just sit and grind and not be bothered. Whereas I
And
kept
not
getting
every class
like one
is
time.
fair as well. Like if you are on a shy, like like absolutely, like you
Yeah,
won't
I
have
mean,
much chance.
being decked against a guild like Cho Nation, I mean, what chance do you have? You just get slaughtered. So, understandable why they made the change. There's two sides to the argument, but the change happened is what it is. But as far as Arsha goes, I don't think they should expand it because that's designed to be a PvP server and it's already pretty empty as it is. Like people should go and grind on Arsha more often. You'll be surprised. Especially seasonal Arsha. Like there's not much going on there.
Yeah.
Like except if you go to like the super popular grind spots, but
Yeah, I was
it's
gonna say, like, don't most people that want PvP go to Arsha?
yeah.
Yeah,
So
Anyways,
like
obviously, yeah.
and it's already pretty empty like in some times of the day. Like it's not like as poppin' as it used to be. So adding more servers would just make it more spread out and it'd make it even more dead.
So I on Yanis say the reason they made these recent changes is because some female Korean streamer with 60k viewers was stream sniped. Yeah, they probably care for more, Korean
They
streamers
care for
than
the streamers.
I would say Korean streamer because like
no.
most of the devs and stuff knows Korean and maybe they don't watch English streamers, and so they will probably get a lot more feedback from Korean streamers than.
I've got stream sniped many times. Many other players got stream sniped. They don't care streamers. It was a Korean streamer. If that was the reason, then that was the reason. But I mean, listen. This was
Time
this
to
was a
stream in
long time
Korea.
coming. I mean, time to read. Yeah. This
I'll
was a long
start
time
doing
coming,
live
though. I
skill
mean,
there. I'll put like a robot voice in there. Just auto translates everything I say.
Hey guys, how you doing?
hey, Jordan, not cool.
What?
At least say an actual phrase like "gamsamnida" or something. I don't know.
I mean, I don't.
I
don't
learned
know
a
how
few
to,
lines
I
of
don't know how to
Korean 'cause, like,
translate it.
I learned a little bit of Korean, but I'm terrible with the pronunciation because I grew up, talking too many.
Jordan is
watching too
getting
much
cancelled.
anime. That's like the difference. Yeah, cancel Jordan right now.
Yeah, hashtag cancel
it's
Jordan.
different. I tried learning it because we had to learn some of the phrases in one of our Taekwondo schools, and I learned a few lines, but my pronunciation was always off. I don't want to try, but yeah, if that was the reason, that was the reason. I mean, I can't. What can we do right now? I'm sure the NA community was pretty vocal about it when they first announced it, and everyone thought it was only in Korea. It wasn't coming to NA, but it did. And another big patch note item that came was the pay-to-win change with the Cron stone, with the vendor crons and the cash out price. What do you guys think about that?
I'm
I
happy
think it
with
should've-
the increasing the price because like the inflation went quite up. Like when they increased the 2 million, we were making like 200, 300 million maximum per hour. Now people making like 1 billion per hour, and it's still not up to the
1.8.
yeah,
almost
it's
2
still
bill
not
an
up
hour.
to the inflation rate. I don't know, like the changes about the pearl items itself. They say like 1.6, 1.7 per cron. So like I don't know if it's good or not, but in terms of in-game crons, yeah, I think 3 million was just right. They could have made it 4 million, like if they wanted to. Like with the current inflation, it wouldn't make much difference.
I mean, it does make a difference. The cost of tapping for a Debo, it increased drastically, but I'm glad they didn't follow Korea's pricing because Korea had intermittent increases of their costume price over the years, which we did not get. I was just worried they would put it as 2.5 bill for us as well. And what that would have done is it would have made costumes more expensive than the previous vendor cron price, which I would have been really upset about that. But at least costumes only went up by like 300k each. I mean, as much as I'd like it to stay cheap, but their logic and why they did it was, it was a sound logic. They showed the amount of silver that we were making then compared to now, which checks out. Like in 2019, yeah, 200 to 300 mil an hour, that was like end game money right there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also biased because I never upgrade, so I would always say like, oh yeah, just make the upgrade more expensive because I'm biased. I don't want people to upgrade.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, someone has to upgrade, so we buy. But like I don't want people to upgrade just for like sitting and in the Velia storage for 20 hours a day and just playing the game.
Such a small subset of players who do that, man. Even Jordan last podcast was saying,
yeah, but it's
Russ
so
knows.
boring.
Russ knows.
But it's so boring. Like last time I tried to upgrade, like I upgrade maybe like 20 minutes or something. I felt like I lost 8 hours of my time. Like how people like do all the fail stacking and stuff. Like it's a very boring activity. They probably just do it because it's for profit.
If they want to do something boring, let them do it. I mean, I grind. That can be boring to some people. You guys do hunting and stuff. Some people find that boring. If they want to do something boring, let them. If there's any abuse of something, like any item being abused or something, send it in. Put in a ticket. Get that fixed. But Enhancing? If they want to enhance, let them enhance. I'll buy it.
Yeah, I
Saves
mean,
me the trouble.
someone has to enhance, so I can buy. Like, I'm not
Exactly.
against enhancement. I'm just saying, like, it's first of all, it's boring, and secondly, like, if you're not calculated and purely doing it for money, you will end up losing more than what you would spend.
Damn. Chat's telling me a few things about how much they spent. Adiabatic spent 180k crons on a Pendebo. 25,000 were vendor crons. I mean, like, a lot of people do use vendor crons, man. Like, now
But that's the
that
end
price went
game,
up by
right?
50%.
Like, if they don't use crons for those upgrades, then they will not have that end game, but they will still have, like, close to end game gear. Like, it's like to me, like Debo said, it's like a luxury item. It's
not
like
a
pan
luxury item
monos,
now. Now, they're in the upper tier players. Everyone's got their triple debos and stuff. It's like I'm 710 or 711. I'm low geared, man. I'm still 40, 50 gear score off from hard cap players. Like, it's a big difference. It's now it's an attainable item now. Like, getting debos, it's attainable. You can even buy Tet debos off the marketplace, and
Do you
you
think
still have
people will
like
be able to sell like pens? Will
there
they?
have been a few pets sold, but they generally sell the Tets because it's better money value, like the ratio of it. So people usually, if they don't want to tap it themselves from base, they'll buy the Tet and they would, progress from that point. But you still have to farm your own bases because those are still undervalued. I think they need to be like at least 1.5 bill each because you don't see them on the market that often. The pre-orders
Yeah,
do
I
come
heard
through.
like the bases are like hard to come by. So if they increase the drop rate of bases and
No, let them farm that. Let them farm at least that part,
okay,
A
all right.
base, it's like 5 to 6 hours, right?
So
It's
people
not a
don't complain from Cron, but they complain from dropping the bases, right?
they don't complain about the debos. I mean, the end game players, they go and grind it.
Okay, all right.
I mean,
I,
they're
at
out
least
there grinding.
At least the people I've seen have been complaining because they're like, "Oh my god, 30 bill for a click." Oh, wah.
Would you say if they increase the max price of Pandebo, people will start doing it for profit? Like,
Yeah, I
let's
mean,
say
there's
like
always that
500 or 600 million
calculation.
max price or something. I don't know
You
what's the
just have to
max price right
calculate.
now, but
It's 300, I think. You just have to calculate what the percentage chance is. You can come up with a price which would be fair.
yeah.
But yeah, 500 something.
Yeah, same with monos. They should increase to like 600 or something and make the
Yeah.
make the debo like 1 trillion. Who cares? Like, if someone is gonna pay 700 million for a pan debo, let them pay. At
Yeah,
least
that's what I was saying last time. Like, why not increase the upper limit drastically and let the market fluctuate in the same manner it does now? If there's demand, price goes up. If there's excess supply, price goes down. Like, I think they should uncap a lot of the prices and make it like extraordinarily high, just so it has the potential to go there. So, for example, Pen Manos, no one's ever selling those. Like, it's very rare. Maybe in a year, 10 get sold or something for one, but
Maybe if it was like proportional to the
exactly.
average.
Right. That's why uncap the upper limit, let it go as high as it goes, but it goes up steadily. It's not going up like, you can't just post it for 100 bill more than what it's worth right now. You have to wait for the price to catch up.
Make it at least the Pendebo price.
Ghost say literally a member of this podcast sold one. Let's not get into that one.
Who?
These sold the
I was
pen
gonna say,
monos, yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say for the Cron change, I think it should have been done before Debos even came out. Honestly.
All right, we have
So
a
then-
question for discussion. Ghost say, explain how selling a pen monos is a mastermind move. Ooh.
In chat, I think one of our boys just said you lose 200 mil from selling it for that price. Like,
The Debo, yeah.
value of the Debo, Debo is much higher. The Pen Debo.
Yeah. So same thing with Pen Manos accessory. Like both the
Yeah.
items need to be higher. And then you would have a lot more people that would click for them too.
But I think
So.
it's easier to get a pen debo than it is a pen manos.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the average cost for a pen debo is now with the Cron change. But I know for a pen manos accessory, it's like anywhere from like 400 to like 600 bill.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any returnee rewards right now. There's always some rewards going on. Sorry, chat. I'm not familiar.
But yeah, I was gonna say, like with the Cron change, like when I played like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or whatever, the Crons were 2 mil each, and we were all making like 300 mil an hour. It was like end game player, whether you're grinding or life skilling, and yeah, it was 2 mil, and then now we're making 3 times the money as like end game players are making anywhere from like 1 to like 2 bill in that area or in that range.
Oh, buddy. You life skillers don't know what's going on. Tortuga players are making like 1.5 plus bill an hour.
Yeah. So like one in between 1 to like 2 bill or whatever.
Yeah.
So we're making like 4 or 5 times the money. The Cron should honestly be 4 or 5 times the cost. Like I'm surprised that they only did 3 mil, especially when it was 2 mil back when we made 300 mil.
For NA, we can make you can play that devil's advocate, but for other regions, they have it a lot tougher to buy a costume to melt down. Like NA gets an influx of costumes and you can pre-order and eventually win that. And some people are like, hey, I can get one costume a day sniped from the marketplace. That's good. But other regions, they have it much worse. There's a lot more competition for those costumes.
Right. So say Crons went up to, instead of 3 mil, so they went up to like 5 or 6 mil. And then costumes went up to like what, 4 bill or 5 bill per costume?
2.5 in Korea. And Korea has it sitting, but I think a lot more people had money saved in NA compared to Korea.
Yeah, then they would probably sit. Like you could probably actually buy costumes if they're like 4 or 5 bill. People would definitely run out of silver.
I mean, once again, my argument, like, they should just uncap the upper limit on a lot of items and let it go as high as it goes and let everything balance out. Just by market demand. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, speaking about the grinding and Tortuga, like they giga buffed a lot of trash loot and a lot of grind spots, man. Like Tortuga is pulling mad trash. I think upwards of like 150,000 trash loot in an hour. It's insane. And I think each trash is what, 8k each? Is that right, chat? So, and similarly, other grind spots got buffed as well. Olin's got buffed. I'm going to be doing some Olins in about 3 hours or something. But along with that, many other grind spots got buffed. Rudim's got nerfed slightly, but it's a new era in terms of how much money we're making. Like this year alone, it's just gone up so much.
Right? Like when did all this start? Because like when I came back, that's when everything was like around 1 bill an hour.
Hex, I think Hex and Trolls, when Calpheon LVA spots came out, that's when we started consistently seeing that. Before Olins would go up, like depending on the group, it was very difficult to pull that high Olins trash. It's really group and skill dependent there. But with Hex and Trolls, when those got added, that's when you started seeing that consistent 1.2, 1.5. Back when despairs were a lot more pricey. And then recently it became a lot more accessible to make those numbers with the Gyfin's trash route getting buffed, and of course Dakia being out. Dakia's grind spots are giga strong. Like there are people making over 1.5 to 1.8 at Dakia Thornwood, and maybe even more if you get RNG carried. But the Dakia spots really boosted the end game money per hour. And then along with that, all the trash loot changes that came out recently, which is a good thing in at least in the early and mid game grind spots, because now you have a lot of variety. I had to redo my grind spot guide because you don't have to just go to like 1 giga spot. I mean, some people still say just grind centaurs, but I don't like playing the game like that. I like having the variety of having like 4 to 5 different spots, which is how it is now for most of the AP ranges.
Yeah, I'm happy that they're coming out with a bunch of, or they're buffing, grinding like a ton. I'm just waiting on these life skill buffs. Life skill buffs when.
Yeah. What are you expecting in terms of life skill buffs right now? Oh, what are you looking forward to seeing?
I'm hoping for an Imperial change that's gonna literally bring the cook and bring alchemy up a
Yeah.
lot.
Have
That
you
would
made a
balance
forum?
it.
Have you made a forum post for that?
No, I don't make. Yeah.
You should, and push your community to go and respond there because that's where you'll see the most traction for any change or something. And this goes to all of the chat, anyone listening. If there's anything you feel passionate about, like absolutely go to the forums, and then you can push that on the official Discord as well. And I really encourage people to do that because a lot of the good changes that came through was from the community. I mean, the community comes up with those, and then PA looks into it and listens afterwards. But we got to be vocal. We gotta push the good ideas and keep striving to help PA improve our game. So make sure you guys check that out. But yeah, what else
Um,
came in this patch note? Some class changes. One thing we were missing is the seasonal. Like a lot of players keep coming into my chat asking when's the next season, when's the next season, and I wish I could give them an answer, but I don't think there's a date out. They're supposed to give us a coupon to be able to make a new seasonal character, but the current season is supposed to just keep going until end of December.
Have they explained what changes they are gonna bring? I hope it doesn't turn out to be like trading. They are, every Calpheon ball they bring up. Oh, we're making trading changes. This ball. It's amazing. And then the next ball happens 6 months later. Oh, by the way, we're changing the trading. And the next ball happens 6 months later. They're like, oh, we're changing the trading, but never comes. And then finally they brought the trading. It's like like a 2 junior developer worked on a weekend project, that kind of change. I'm like, did you guys like spend like 3 years just for this?
right.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I mean, that was kind of underwhelming. I thought it'd be like something like bartering, but on land. But yeah, it didn't work out. Like at least maybe some sort of group system with like a caravan sort of thing going on. But yeah, it didn't happen. Unfortunate.
Yeah, because I remember like before I quit, they were talking about trading, but or a big trading buff, and then yeah, like I quit, and then I come back, and then everyone told me that trading was just like a meme
Yeah.
with the change.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't even tried it. I haven't even looked into it. I don't know how much money people are even making from it. But it's unfortunate. I thought if it was like something like bartering, but just tuned a little bit for the land and switch things around, and maybe add some interesting twist to it. Like obviously we already have those bandits out there going and hitting people. You see on the map right now, there's some bandits out there right now, which you can go kill and get some seals off of. But yeah, it was very underwhelming. I'm sure they tried to make it something unique on paper. It sounded really cool, but the way the community works is if it's not a meta way to make money, if it's not making good and competitive amount of money, we're not going to do it because at the end of the day, this game is all about silver, all about making the cash. You're not going to do something that's only going to make you like a fraction of it, while you can do something a lot easier or pretty brain dead to just go and turn your mind off and grind and make like triple or quadruple that money, right? So it's unfortunate.
The amount of
It
player
is what
play
it
this
is.
game for role playing is very, very, very low.
Yeah, I mean there isn't much role playing elements. We don't even have proper, you know, emojis. We do have some emotes and stuff, some actions, but it's nothing compared to other games where we can like sit and slash dance and do all sorts of stuff. Um, I don't know why they never add those. They added it to like Shy. I think Shy is the only one that can dance, but why not just add it for everything? Obviously, people aren't going to roleplay if you don't give them the means to do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like talking about the silver or whatever, everyone just chases whatever makes the most silver. That's why they need to come out with variety. They need to make every life
Yeah.
skill be competitive with grinding or whatever, and all end game life skilling should be equated to end game grinding money or
I
whatever.
don't think it should be equated to endgame. It should be close. I'd say 80% off. Because you have to. I think grinding money and just money in general, it should equate to the amount of effort you put in. If you're in a high-end spot like Dikia, you got to be on point. You can't just turn your mind off because those mobs can kill you. You go to Tungrad Ruins, those mobs can kill you even with like 420 DP. So I think like it should be proportional to the effort you're putting in. Like grinding, like gathering is really chill, right? A lot of hunting is really chill. So if it's like going up to like a bill, that's fine. I think they should bring all the gathering spots up, and like you mentioned earlier in the stream, the minigame buff is that should be permanent. I think it should be a 10% chance.
Well, if they're not close, then what would be the point of life skilling?
I mean, it's a lower effort activity. Like the amount of money we make hunting, I think that's fair.
So
You can
hunting
make, like-
is not chill for everyone. Jordan dies every 5 minutes.
Right.
That's because he doesn't do the journal. Just do the journal and get some infinite potions, man.
But what I'm saying is they could make like now gathering has a mini game, so it's a little bit more challenging. You can even ask Russ about the about the
failing.
I mean, I
failing your
didn't
minigame?
practice enough to, I will be biased. I would prefer they give us like 10x reward rather than minigame. Just remove the minigame completely. Just give 10x reward like here and there, like as a RNG based on your mastery or something. Or even like, fixed rate, doesn't matter. Yeah, I think minigame is just like you play once or twice, you're like, okay, I had my fun. I don't want, anymore. Just give me 10x
I mean, it's
or
for the money,
juice and
though.
yeah, I mean it's for the money, but also like even though like minigame brought the money up a little bit, we still spend like for example herb, right? You have to wait like 10 seconds or something to memorize it, and then another 10 seconds. So you're losing like literally 20 seconds or like between 10 and 20 seconds per minigame.
Yeah.
And like if you fail, that's like you lose like 10 to 20 seconds. And if you just like gather like basically, we gather like 2.2 second per gathering. So like if you get like 5 times, it's already 10 seconds. So if you wait 20 seconds, that's literally like close to like 10 times gathering anyway. Like I don't know if you guys noticed.
I
that.
mean, listen, you shouldn't be failing those mini games. If you're failing mini games, just turn them off, huh?
No.
That's like
I'm saying like even if you are succeeding, it's not like instant reward. Like you are still spending like 10 to 20 seconds, which is like minimum. Like based on normal gathering,
You're
it's already like 5.
burning energy quicker. Like, isn't that the point? Like,
Yeah, you
gathering is
burn
basically you're
energy
converting.
quicker. But what I'm trying to say is like while you are playing the mini game, you are spending 10 to 20 seconds just to resolve that minigame, right? Even if you succeed every minigame, you are spending like 10 to 20 seconds per minigame. And,
Right.
in 10-second time, if you are, let's say, like at Pilgrim, you will be gathering like, 4 times or 5 times. Or like if it's like 20 seconds, you will probably gather like 7 to 8 times. So like it is somewhat an increase, but not that much when you think about it, the time you are losing just to play the minigame.
Yeah, it's gonna take time to do it. That's why it consumes more and gives you more reward, right? Yeah. Why are you taking 20 seconds anyway? Floppy's calling you out here.
Oh, you mean the tanning? I never done that one.
Yeah, I mean, like, as long.
Oh,
The point
Flappy.
of
Oh,
gathering is you're.
I thought Flappy Bird thing with the tanning.
No. Like,
No, I'm saying like the maximum can go to 10 seconds because like with harvesting, it gives you like 10 seconds initially to memorize, and then it gives you like another 10 seconds to actually do the.
to click it.
Yeah,
Okay,
like for
got
example, for mining,
I
it might take you like 5 seconds or something, or or 6 seconds.
Yeah. Okay.
But-
okay, I understand.
But I was gonna say, like at the end of the day or whatever, people are gonna do whatever they enjoy doing, and I would think that if they made everything close to around the same, okay, we can make grinding make a little bit more because it's more effort. But if you made everything like pretty close to the same, then you would see a lot more variety in streams, right?
But the
and a
thing
lot
is,
more
like,
content. And plus,
grinding, like, just one point here. Grinding, it's more consistent because it's less dependent on the market. Like, yeah, accessories crash once in a while, but it always recovers.
Well, you
But
can
with
make
life
vendor
skills,
stuff.
yeah, there aren't much vendor stuff for life skilling right now, right? Because even if we increase it, then if a lot of people just hop back into life skilling, it comes back down, and it's not the same kind of balance compared to grinding. You can't just
Well,
say just
okay.
money per
How
hour,
many
right?
how many people are 2K gather? Is it easy to get?
If you make it the same amount of money as or even close to the money you get like with Dikia Thornwood, the upper limit of grinding, those people with all that money will just go and buy their way to 2K mastery and then a
Okay,
little bit of
okay.
grinding. Yeah.
You can't though. You have to put the time in to level it up.
How much do
You
you need?
can't
If you
just
get
buy
full, if you
gear.
get full Tet Manos, accessories, pen clothes, pen tool, and mastery stones, how much of a gathering level do you need?
Like if you had full pen manos accessories,
Not pen manos accessories, Tet accessories, but pen manos clothes and tool.
and then like the crystals.
Yeah, and then you also have the life skill scroll for another 100 mastery. Like
Uh,
I think they can buy their way pretty quickly.
yeah, they can. Okay, well then, how about they raise mastery of gathering to where if you hit
Mm.
like 2.4K or whatever, then that is equivalent to Dekio grind or whatever.
That's one thing we need to do. We need to like put up a forum post and these ideas for like higher brackets, like or at least ideas for higher levels. I think it'd be better to add additional features to having a high gathering level rather than high mastery. I think that's what I mean, I would like to see both, but or even an increase to like gathering, as you said. But I think that's one thing we should definitely suggest. Oh,
Because there are some life, and that's just gathering. Like, what about fishing? Like, how many people are 2K fishing? Are there a lot of players that are 2K fishing?
I don't think so. Fishing kind of sucks.
Right, right. So say active fishing was like a bill an hour, but if you had 2K fish mastery,
If
right?
you went, if it was a bill an hour and it was 2K fish mastery, I would be okay with that because it takes a lot of time to level up those life skills.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think like they need to buff a lot of life skills like to where there's more variety instead of just everyone just grinder sit in town and enhance for profit.
See,
But
if there's
they can
variety, I'd be
easily
okay with
they
it.
can
But
easily fix the fishing mastery by adding fishing mastery to rods. Like make like a Manos rod and then give like 300 to 400, and it will turn out to be like a processing stone. Then you could easily get 2K fishing.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, a lot of these life skills are underwhelming at the moment. Like, if you want to make money, it's either you gather and hunt and then cook. Like, and then every once in a while you throw in some alchemy there. Like, there's not that spammable option for all the life skills. Like, bartering, your time gated trading, it's a meme. Fishing, it's just so underwhelming at the moment. Like, why not have like that option to go to deep in the sea, out in the ocean, in the great ocean, find a hot spot, get some really expensive fish, and make like and then go back to town safely or in time, and then turn it
Right.
in for like a big chunk of money. I don't. I think that's like a good activity you could do with other people too. There's a lot of ways they can diversify it. Like just straight up buffing money per hour, I don't think is a good thing. I think they should first resolve the issue of why aren't people more diverse in what they do, and then start adding other methods to make money.
So that will
Like
turn out to be like sea monster hunting, individual like player base rather than guild base. I mean, they can improve the sea monster hunting and add drops that you get it for yourself rather than for a guild, and then maybe make like
I mean,
between 500 to 800 million an hour or something, and then active
what
fishing
was
make it similar as well.
yeah, I mean, what was the issue with sea monster hunting? It was a low barrier to entry. Anyone could go do it, and it was a lot of money, right?
Yeah, and also
I think
guilds can abuse it. They can boost a lot of people for like real money. They can pay
yeah,
real money
that
and then
happened.
get the max pay.
Yeah. That happens. So like I'm okay with money going up for life skilling, but
Yeah.
it's got to be like, they have to do it right. Just a flat increase, I feel like doesn't do much. They have to execute it in the right manner.
I honestly wasn't
Yeah, it
happy
has to
with
be.
the sea monster hunting giving the rewards for guild rather than individual, because as you said, like they can easily pay real money to a guild and get all the max pays, like
Yeah, it's
six.
happened. It's happened. Yeah,
Yeah,
it used to happen a lot. People buying payouts and stuff.
bartering was good
Yeah, they
money as
did.
well. They smashed it very hard. So anything they bring out and it's like extremely good, and then they freak out and then they burn it down to ground. Yeah. So
Yeah,
if they
that's how it goes.
steadily increase something, they usually not touch it too much.
Yeah.
Like they nerf it, but they nerf it a lot, and then it becomes like not viable anymore.
I like cooking.
I
The
mean, they never
sniper hunting.
nerfed it, right? Like,
They
yeah, they
haven't
added
buffed
something
it,
else
but
and
they
it
haven't nerfed
inversely
it. Yeah,
affected. It got inversely affected. And that's one thing. Like, just straight up buffing a gather spot will eventually just make people go all the way, all into that one spot and abuse it until it crashes to the ground. I mean, remember when Manos first came out? Like, a lot more people were out there making money life skilling instead of grinding because it's easy, it's good money, and is a lot less effort. So it's hard to balance that out. I mean, they work differently. Like in gathering, they just had to increase the trash loot. I mean, that's not affected by the market, and it's just a straight up increase to the spot.
yeah.
Whereas for life skills, they have to be a bit more tactful with it. They have to add in a new feature and make sure that people who's put in the time are getting rewarded, not just people who just go buy the mastery. Like that's why I want to see additional rewards for having higher levels. I think that's something they really need to do.
I think Monos scary as it is, like when Monos came out, it was one of the best changes in terms of life skill in this game, and it in a positive way. And Monos, I think it's okay right now. The state of Monos, they just need to improve. All the other life skill doesn't really get affected from the mastery changes. Like as we say, like cooking is like hasn't been buffed to be competitive with grinding or with other life skills, and or you say like fishing, farming, and what else we have, like trading, and maybe they can buff like training a bit as well, and alchemy probably needs to be
But yeah,
buffed a little bit
that's one
as
thing
well.
though. That's an AFK activity, like cooking and stuff. So I don't think it should ever be like grinding money right there. I mean, making certain meals is grinding money, but it takes a lot of prep and pre-orders to be able to execute it.
Well,
I
that's
think
also
yeah.
okay. So
Go ahead.
3 years ago, meat was sold out. That's why, like, in order to cook, what did you have to do? You had to
You have
go
to go
gather.
gather.
You had to go
Exactly.
exactly. So yeah, like I understand right now in the state of cooking, it should not make near fucking grind money because all you can do, you can just buy the meat off the market. But if the meat goes and sells out, then yeah, I think cooking
Yeah.
should be close to, if you have
But
2K cooking.
But like the market adjusts itself, right? Like for example, before sniper hunting came out, if you went and got your own lion meat, those meals that you were cooking for that 1 hour of like, King of Jungle, Hamburg, and whatever follows up, those made good money. But that was just a market thing. Like right now, it's just a saturated market, which, not everything's making what it used to.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you this question. What is the expected money per hour from cooking for a 2K cook compared to grinder right now? Like what the ratio should be? Like if a grinder, like it doesn't matter how much money grinder make, like 1 billion or 2 million. If it's constant like ratio, would you say like 30% or 40% or 50% of what grinder
Honestly,
makes?
there's no answer to that because that's an AFK activity. I think it's just something that you are able to, maximize what. I think it should play off of what your, money per hour is from gathering because it's about, gathering and hunting. It's gathering resources, whereas alchemy and cooking, it's transforming those.
But
So
even
since
then,
it's an AFK
we can
activity,
still make a like right now, like we can say like how much percentage versus grinding. So what would be the ideal, like Jordan? What do you think would be the ideal profit you would be happy with, like as a 2K cook? That would
Uh,
make you cook like semi FK or AFK, doesn't matter.
Shit. Like anything that's like 1.5 bill probably
Per
as
hour.
2K cook. Yeah.
And then everyone would do it, and then the market would crash again.
But that's pretty much
but that requires gathering into cooking. So you're
Right.
going to gather for 1 hour, and then you're going to cook for that hour. And in that hour and 2 hours or whatever, or in that hour and a half that you're cooking, your total money an hour is going to be a bill and a half. So you're earning it or whatever.
That would be fair if you gathered it, but right now with like sniper hunting, like, you know,
Right. If you buy, then yeah, no, it should not be.
exactly.
That much.
I think that's a good understanding there. Like if you had to go and make your own, it takes like what, 6 to 7 hours of gathering for 1 hour of cooking. Is that right? Like for just for lion meat. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, like with the mini game, it's a little bit better, but yeah.
Oh, right. I don't know the numbers with the mini games, but
I
even
think
if you
last time I checked, if you buy the lion meat off the market and buy all the ingredients, maybe like between 60 million to 100 million, you make an hour. So even if you cook it for like 10 hours, you know, you will probably make like maximum like 1 to 1.5 billion. So it's not much money anyway, like certain recipes.
Yeah. So what I don't want is like, you know, to hear like, hey, we should just sit and buy material off the marketplace and
I think certain items can be a bottleneck. Like let's say, you know, meat right now is quite cheap. And the reason it's quite cheap because we don't have enough customers to buy the meals we cook. Like everyone is, you know, doing sniper hunting. There's a lot of surplus meat in the server, and you know we have more than the demand, and therefore meat prices are cheap, and that brings the meal prices to down as well. So if they increase
let me clarify something with chat. They're like 1.5 bill an hour cooking. That's insanity. It's already been there, guys. Like it's always been that way with lion meat at 2K mastery. The only thing was, you know, it's out of stock, and right now because of like abundance in meat, a lot of the markets are a bit less profitable, but you had to go gather it yourself to make that 1.5 bill. That's what Jordan was saying. As long as there's a balance that, you know, it's not something you can just immediately go and buy and sell for profit, that's good. Like 1.5 bill is fair if you had to go gather for 5 to 6 hours. Yeah, go ahead, Russ. Just had to make that.
What was I talking? Oh, about the profit, right? For cooking, like I think, I would say like as a 2K cook, if you can make like around maybe like 300 to 400 million profit per hour. Let's say you buy everything off the market, like assuming they are available, and I will say that will be probably ideal, because if you cook 10 hours 300 million, it's only 3 billion, and that's like 3 hours grinding versus 10 hours, so it's like 30%. I will say 30% of profit compared to grinding and spot, and cooking 2K is and spot cooking, so I would say 30% would be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be against like that being a thing, but it's just that, you know, if it's that much money, people will all go into that, and then it'll crash the market anyway. So,
I mean, if they play smart, it's right. Like,
what's the solution?
It is like that right now, like around 30% anyway right now, if they cooking smart.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I don't think there's anywhere you can really buff that. I think other things leading into it can change, but directly.
So what they can do, they can reward the active life skillers versus you know, let's say AFK life skill gonna cost you, like, let's say if you buy everything off the market and cook, and then it gives like 200 300 million per hour, which is ideal. But if you are actively doing stuff, and you know, you're not only making profit from gathering, but also you make profit from cooking, and that's how can it be done if they like, if we make the meat bottleneck again. What I mean by that bottleneck, like if they can increase the, let's say red meat, right? They increase the red meat price like 30K each, and then you know red meat is sitting on the market for like between 20K to 25K, and people not gonna buy at that price. They will go gather instead, and therefore they are gonna make a lot more money from cooking. And you know, if someone is actively, you know, gathering for like 5 to 6 hours, so they can cook like 2-3 hours, then you know they will be making like they will be getting a lot more reward. And the only way to make that happen if they increase the amount of Imperials we deliver to Imperial deliveries, you know, double it, and also maybe double the profit as well. Like right now, like at 2K cooking with like 200 boxes delivering, I'm only getting like 260 million or something. And let's say 100 million is the cost of making those meals. So I'm making like 100 to 150 million profit. And that's with like 2K cooking, right? And if someone is like a grinder and, you know, they only have like Logia set, and when they buy the meals off the market and deliver, maybe like they are only making like 50 million profit. And no one is going to spend, you know, they're like 10-15 minutes trying to box up meals and, you know, deliver and just for 50 million profit. So they need to make the Imperial delivery attractive to grinders so they can actually buy the meals and deliver for extra cash. Otherwise,
I mean, like
you know,
50 mil. Remember, packing a box, it's AFK activity, and now you can mass pack it. We aren't constrained by, you know, the immense amount of weight requirement back then.
but
Like,
even
I
then,
think
you know,
even if-
let's say you log into another character and you pack it, or you know, you bulk pack it one day, and then you know you log in and you deliver 50 million. Like most of the grinders, you know, some of them, you know, they like it, they bother, they do it, but I'm sure like, you know, half of the grinders doesn't care about that 50 mil. You know, they're like, oh, I'm just gonna grind 5 minutes and I'm gonna get 50 mil from 5 minutes grind anyway. Like, you know,
true,
like whether
but I
that
mean, if
characters
those, it's like low effort work. Like if they want to do it, like
Mm.
if someone wants low effort money, they can do it. If they don't want to do it, let them ignore it. But 1-to-1 Imperials, I think, would be the play.
Yeah.
I think that's something that we listen. I need Jordan or you or D to spearhead this one. Make a forum post. We'll all like, you know, spread it on our streams and stuff. But I think we really we gotta push for that. I think that would alleviate some pressure.
So the problem with the current Imperial prices is like it's putting a max price to meal prices. So even if like the materials max out, let's say meat gets sold out from 20K or 30K, and like the meal is gonna go up only so much. Like, you know, like right now, like Balonos, let's say 22K or 23K. So grinders can make somewhat profit. But let's say Balonos meal become 30K, then grinders won't be able to make money from Imperial. So it's not going to be appealing. So it's sort of like, you know, get hard cap on the market, like certain meals. So if they increase the profit, you know, Imperial profit, let's say a grinder with, let's say, you know, Ted Logia sets or something. Let's say a grinder with 1,000 cooking mastery and making like 200 million profit every day. Then it will.
Why does the grinder deserve that money though? Like this should be focused around the life skiller who's actually making it and then doing their Imperials. I think let whatever the price be for the
All right,
grinders.
let's say
but I
like
think if they balance
1,000.
it.
Let's say 1,000 cooking mastery. I can't give you the right numbers right now. I'm just giving an example. Let's say 1,000 cooking mastery makes like you know 150 or 200 million profit, while making like 2,000 cooking mastery makes the maybe like 500 million profit per day. Or from it, like, you know, 200 for like 1,000, maybe 500 for that will give a room for the meal prices to go up, because everyone is gonna be either cooking as a side job, like even if they are grinding, they're like, oh, I'm just gonna go gather a couple of hours and do cooking and cook my own meal, or they're just gonna buy the meals. So either way, we have one way to get rid of the you know, meals. Like 500 seems to be broken. I mean, make it 400. Make it like, you know.
Yeah,
like,
we can't
just
talk
giving
about
an example.
the number.
Yeah, just
we haven't done any calculation on the suggestion. I think
make it
rather...
appeal to everyone in the server to do Imperial delivery. Like if they are grinder and they just want to make like, you know, quick cash, they can still be appealing. or if they want to, do it as a side job, they're grinding and they still want to cook with like low gear with 1000 cooking mastery and,
So-
still make money.
I think the real question is how they should execute it. Like increase the Imperial cap, or are you asking for the price increase, like the amount of money we're getting?
I'm
What's
asking
the
quantity increase, delivery quantity increase, and also buff the profit we make from Imperial deliveries. Like right now, it's say like 250% versus base price. Make it like maybe 400% or something. Like if you got Imperial delivery NPC, it's say like 250% of base price. Maybe change it to like 400% or 500% or something.
Yo, Espada, what's up, man? Yeah, in chat, he's saying that I bet you instead of 1-to-1, they'll just boost the box value instead.
Yeah, I hope
The
not.
reason we say
'cause
like quantity improve is because we like there's a lot of meal on the market, and it's like life skillers can't get rid of the meals quick enough. So if they improve like 1-to-1, that will increase the sales quite a lot. But if they also on top of that increase the profit margin, and then most of the meals will be in high demand. So that might bring some of the grinders to actually say like, oh, I'm 750 gear score. I have some semi FK time. Why don't I just do a bit of gathering or do life skill cooking on the side for this money? So it might be encouraging for some grinders to do life skill as well.
In chat, just Jordan, not you, Jordan TV. In chat, Jordan said, add mastery scaling to Guru Box turns, but isn't it already there? Don't we already get more money for having higher mastery? That's already a thing.
So Yonifi in the
out.
chat say, I'm a grinder and I don't care about the small profit from Imperial. So that's pretty much what I was saying. Like most grinders or half of the grinders can't be bothered with
if
that.
they want to ignore it, like
Yeah.
let them ignore it. I don't mind them ignoring it. I don't think we should be targeting them. I think we should just focus on the life skillers because I'm a big fan of them improving money per hour for those who put in the time. So like by 1-to-1, people
I mean,
who put
maybe
in the
they will
time
put
to,
the time if you make it more appealing to grinders. Maybe they will put the time
I mean, if they just do the 1-to-1 right now, like people who put in the time to actually grind out that that contribution points, like after a certain point, it takes a long time to get that contribution up to go all the way to 500, right? I think they should first do 1-to-1 and then they should consider look into the price increase or something.
Yeah, that
That'd be
sounds good.
Yeah. All right.
That might also
But-
bump up the, the reason I said increase the profit, that might bump up the some of the ingredients we get from nodes. So if meals become more appealing, like node items, like let's say nutmeg, if it's like 2K right now, it will be like 6K or 10K, So, people be spending more time on, getting like perfect workers for nodes and stuff to get the most value. So it's going to improve everything. It might bring some inflation, but how can I say? Like the money.
I think
yeah. I was going to say something. I forgot. Yeah.
I that's okay if that's a good thing if prices of ingredients go up and stuff. That's more demand, right?
Yeah.
Let the market adjust itself. But right now they should first focus on getting the life skillers something in because it needs to be worth the life skillers time to continue to cook. Right now, because the meals are crashing and they're a mass abundance, by doing 1-to-1, that'll increase the consumption of it. And then they can probably look into seeing what to do next if that's not sufficient.
Yeah, it will be a good step. Yeah, if they do 1-to-1, I believe that's gonna improve the profit at least between 70 to 90%, maybe even 100%. It will increase the profit we're making from cooking. But I'm a bit scared of the node materials though. We will run out of node materials very quickly. Like we will bottleneck the node materials.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you'll have to like switch to different things. But the thing is, it's 1-to-1 Imperial, right? Then if one thing's run out, then the price would be really high to just buy it outright. You can focus on other meals. Like one thing I liked back in the day was like we wouldn't just sit and do Balanos meals. I mean, Balanos meals, the era of Balanos meals really came in once hunting got giga buffed. Before I know Valencia meal was preferred, but a lot of the times we could do a lot of the other meals and just wait for the prices to fluctuate and then we could sell them. I think we should go back in that direction where we're diversifying our storage of how all the meals we're stockpiling instead of just focusing on one thing. I'm a big fan of that diversity, and by buffing like the other grind spots to be at par with like hunting, or gather spots to be at par with hunting or close to it, I think that would help out in that regards.
Like they can diversify, but maybe they can make the new buffs or recipes more appealing. Like they have been bringing
Yeah.
new recipes, but none of them is appealing. Like it's been
Yeah.
78 years and people still cooking like Balonos and Valencia. Like no new recipes are appealing. Even like some of the old recipes like Serendia or what is Media, like they are not appealing unless you're doing them for like Imperial delivery or
I
something.
think I think we've had 4 regions added and the meals haven't gone mainstream. Like they're not appealing. Kama Sylvia, Odalita, Mountain of Eternal Winter, and freaking Lana Morning Light. Like they're doable. It's just not something we can like. It's not something that's gonna dethrone the dominance of Balanos and Valencia.
Well, I was gonna say what it seems like they're doing is they're just increasing the supply of everything. Like they improved workers to where they can work 24/7, like as long as you have your PC on. They also buffed workers, so workers will bring in more materials. And then we came out with sniper hunting, which is shoving meat down. So it's like they're increasing supply, and then I'm just waiting for them to increase demand, whether it's 1-1 Imperial or if they want to do like, I think they should do a Cron meal Imperial. And the only reason I say that is because then that will create variety, because then you'll have people gathering rainbow mushrooms to make camo meals. You'll have people gathering stuff for like Dragon meal. It won't just all be Balanos meal, Valencia meal. It'll actually create variety in the cook market. They also need to like increase either profit for alchemy, because like profit and alchemy Imperial is just ridiculous. Or they need to increase the traces and fruits even more to where elixirs get shoved down to where then it is more profitable to do alchemy Imperial. So I don't know how, like, what they're working on for that.
I bet you it's nothing.
I
Yeah.
personally prefer quality over quantity, like cook or alchemy less, but sell it for more profit, and maybe give them a more buff. So it's like it's a valuable. Like as I said, like cron meals and stuff, they give you somewhat buff, but it's not really noticeable compared to like some other games. Like some other games, when you use like a meal buff, they give you like 50%, let's say extra health or something. Like, but in BDO, like the foods, elixirs, like they somewhat affect, but not so much compared to other MMORPGs. Like they are not that appealing.
Yeah, there are a lot of Bracken Notes guides. I'm just saying, like, sorry for the tangent, Russ. What's going on? Talking to chat here. We can hunt for Balanos. We can hunt for Valencia. We can't hunt for the other meals. I think that's one thing. Like, I think Jordan, you were also alluding to earlier, right?
Yeah, like then that would open up different gathering and stuff like that.
All major
So.
meals should have like one component from hunting, like or gathering. That's
Oh yeah,
easily broken through. I mean, you can gather Bracken. I'm just saying, like, because those other 2 meals have hunting related to them, that increases the amount of material they're getting in.
yeah. I think it's interesting because like with the hunting, you can hunt rhinos, you can hunt what is it, deer, lions,
Feather wolves.
yeah, and I
Not
think
feather wolves, sorry. Shadow wolves. Feather wolves are OG.
yeah, and with the bloods, you can make Sinner's Blood, Clown's Blood. The only two bloods that you can't make with hunting is Wiseman and Legendary, and you can actually use Scorpion Blood for both of those. So what would be interesting is if they come out with a hunting spot where you can hunt like snake and Scorpion. I wouldn't be
Pythons
surprised if
and
they add that.
pythons and giant scorpions.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways they can buff it. I just hope that if whatever changes they do in the future, it's more oriented around a feature rather than a band-aid solution of increasing like just the numbers, like the prices and stuff. Because
Yeah.
there are a lot of things to do in life skills, but I want to see them keep increasing that diversity and the options. Like we have so
Exactly.
many grind spots, but the amount of gathering and hunting spots that's gone up over the years, very minimum compared to them.
Yeah, like I would be mad if they just increase like Imperial 1-1 and then everyone is still doing Balanos and Valencia. I'm just gonna be like, what the heck? Like nothing changed. Just the money.
More money, more liquid money.
Yeah,
Like-
we pretty much like one main herb gathering location, one main sniper hunting location, and yeah, underwater, you know, can be variety. Yeah, but most spots has like only one specific location. They can
But
improve the
underwater,
sniper
we haven't
hunting.
mapped out everything.
Yeah, they can improve the sniper hunting a bit, like by let's say making like a tiger rotation, or maybe like making like, you know, a spot for mainly for pigs, a spot mainly for bears, or a spot, you know, they can, you know, diversify a little bit. So, you know, and then they exchange the tiger meat with lion meat, you know, make it like you know, usable instead of lion meat.
Maybe. Yeah, those kind of things all come down to numbers, honestly. I haven't done any theory crafting on the numbers, but what I can talk about is like, you know, what we should be able to do as a player. Like, I don't like being funneled into just one spot or one thing for an activity. So that diversity is such a good thing. And, you know, right now the meta is grinding, but I think if there's more diversity and the activity doesn't feel mundane, like a lot of people feel like just gathering the same spot or hunting the same spot is really boring, whereas we can diversify as a grinder. So diversifying that, I think that's a good first step.
Yeah. Like if they do the cron meals, like they could do like cron meal, Imperial, and then they could do like draft Imperials, because that would take up a bunch of elixirs. It would like change the elixir market.
Yeah.
It would also create like huge demand on drafts, because you'd have grinders buying drafts, and then on top of that, like people turning them in for Imperials. Same thing with the cron meals, which would force all the meals up and all the like base materials, etc. up.
What do you guys
It
think
depends.
about you know, if they let's say they do an update on recipes, and you know, recipe based on a mastery, like if you have like a 1k mastery, you can only cook certain recipes, and if you have like, you know, 1800 mastery, you can only cook like certain recipes. Like there is a minimum requirement for certain recipes, like there's recipes for 2000 mastery or something.
Well, the thing is, like, there is sort of like a requirement. Like, if you are very low mastery and you're cooking like, for example, with lion meat, you're kind of wasting it. Because you get such a low return compared to a 2k cook, right? But
Unless they are
you
gathering,
looking?
then yeah.
I think they should gate recipes behind level rather than mastery. Cooking is the only one where more people are higher level than 2k mastery, but you know,
So you're
unless
saying
they
like, for
look
example,
to-
like orange recipes should be like G50 or something, and then maybe like, you know, yellow
I mean-
recipes, like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a band-aid idea. I think maybe tying it behind other life skills as well. Like, you know, if you want to unlock this really good recipe, hey, maybe you need that G1 trading in order to do the prerequisite to unlock it, or you need
Maybe
a
gathering, yeah, G1
G40
gathering for.
yeah. Like, just spread it out. Like, make levels matter. That's like my main thing. Like whether it's by adding features or additional perks for having high levels. I just want them to make it matter more rather than a high end grinder being able to just buy their way to like 2K and call it a day. Because then they're gonna feel like it's boring. Like, oh, I'm already 2K. There's nothing to do. I'm like, well, shit. Who told you to go buy your gear like that, right?
Yeah, like they should have. It just depends on like what they want to do, because they might just want it to where then players can do everything in the game, right? So they're trying to make it easier. So if people want to just buy their gear into life skilling, they don't have to push levels. Or if they actually do want to do a progression through life skills where you have to push levels to get to unlock stuff.
Yeah.
Which I think they should add for the people that only like to life skill. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that we talk about it and get those ideas out and get feedback from our chats and stuff, but we really got to push this on the forums, man. Like if we make a forum post with all our ideas properly, we got to segregate it though. We can't just put all our ideas in one post.
Yeah.
We need to plan this out and
We
start
used to have
executing.
a
I think
suggestion channel for partner Discord. They disabled it
they
and moved it
changed it.
to forum, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you make a forum post, you can then open a thread on the forum on the Discord as well. So that's where they're getting a lot of their, that's where they're focusing a lot of their suggestions and stuff. And it's great because like even non-streamers can put in a great suggestion, and you see some of those with like 1,000 upvotes on the forums and stuff. So that's why I'm saying it's really important, guys. If you have a good idea, put it on paper. Put it in there. I mean, it'll take them like 6 months to a year to implement anything they might pick up from the community. It's better late than never, though. They get there eventually.
Was there anything else with the patch notes?
Oh, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
I
We
didn't
haven't
read the
even
patch
gotten to the
notes
questions
properly,
yet.
so
Oh shoot! Yeah, let's just go to the questions now. We went on
right.
like 1,000 tangents.
It's good though.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you, Pansy, and you, Russ, 2 things that you guys would change in BDO that would have a better future for BDO and new players.
get rid of 95% of the things in the game that's no longer viable or, old school. Like I can give you an example, like the workshops, like get rid of everything.
Yeah.
Like 95% of the things in this game right now, they are not meta, and it's unrelatable to new players. So it just makes them confusing for them.
It does.
Make it simplify the game to bring more people. If something is outdated, just remove it from the game. Like you don't need to craft like Urea weapon or Asvel weapon. Like just get rid of it. I'm sure like some graphic artists worked hard on it to create that ultimate Urea icon. But if it's an old school and it's outdated, just get rid of it.
Yeah. It's too much clutter. For new players especially, like even with the new updates, like if you go through Ancient Stone Chamber questline now compared to what it used to be, it like hides your UI, cuts off everything else, and lets you focus on killing the mobs in front of you for that quest. They're going in the right direction, but I think the game needs to handhold a lot more because it is a complicated game. It's not difficult in a sense to understand one aspect of it, but there are a lot of different aspects, like a lot of different life skills, a lot of different items and workshop types and stuff, which there's no monetary value to a lot of those. They're useless now. They need to do a massive revamp to put in a lot more useful workshops.
I mean, workshop is just one thing, like workshops, recipes, alchemy recipes, cooking recipes, like the fishes, like, you try to go fish and then, you get like dried fish, right? Why do we have like a million type of dry fish? Like when you dry a fish, it should only have 3 type of fish. Like one is like white dried fish, one is blue dry fish, and one is like, yellow dry fish. That's it. Like we don't need like, 50 inventory slots for like all kinds of fishes.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of clutter. I think clutter is a big thing.
Yeah, that's what I
think
mean
in
by
last-
simplifying. Yeah, like even like you're doing active fishing, like there should be only just the color of the fish rather than name of the fish. Just call them, white fish, blue fish, and yellow fish. Done. Very simple.
Okay, so basically simplifying like the workshops and like materials, as that's like one thing that you would change. You think it would do better for new players?
So Yenis say I shouldn't lose money when refining materials to higher grade. Like for example, polished stone, right? Rough stone is a lot more valuable than crafting to polished stone. You're losing money processing to polished stone, unless you're
agree.
using for something else.
We all know PA doesn't do the math when they make a change.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think they just need to increase the price and leave it, or do they just need to take it out?
There used to be a good proportion to it, and then once they increased the price of the base material, they didn't correctly increase the proportional like sub materials and the sub recipes. Like for example, the rough stone, right? When they increased the price of rough stone, they didn't increase the price of the cooking utensils proportionally, so people stopped selling those. When Russ first made his banger YouTube video of showing us how to make cooking utensils, everyone used to do that because that was solid like 100, 150 mil a day, just with a little bit of effort. But that increase to the rough stone price just didn't match up.
That's how me and Russ progressed. Back in the day, we both spanned out utensils.
You know what I think the problem is that they only make one
Hey!
thing good at a time.
I was gonna say
He doesn't even say hi. He just comes blasting it. Yo,
And
go
I'm just
for it.
listening.
Go
I don't want
off.
to be rude.
No,
but
no. Cook. Go ahead.
what I think is they only make one thing good at a time. Like when Russ made the rough stone video, utensils was the best workshop money, and they didn't make anything else good.
Yeah. They don't really think about it. Like they don't do the math and think about the follow-up recipes too well, which annoys me because they had good intent of increasing the price for something, but then it crashed the remainder of the market, which was the main activity.
They should let profitable diversify the profitable things. There should be many profitable things, not just like two.
Yeah.
Where all players are funneled into.
Right. And Jordan, to answer your question of what they should, do to make BDO a better new player experience, I think a lot more diversity. I know it can sound like be confusing. Oh, if I have to grind like in this spot, instead of just saying, oh, go centaurs. I know it sounds a bit more complicated, but in the long run, having that diversity, helps people stay engaged with the game and makes the game a lot more colorful and entertaining. Because if you're just stuck at one spot, one hunting spot, one gathering spot, one grinding spot, after the course of 50 hours, 100 hours, you do get bored. So having more diversity in whatever the activity is, whether it's early game life skilling, early game grinding, or even mid game, late game, having options is a good thing. And unfortunately, our mentality is to go to where you get the most money per hour. So, that's not going to change. So I think in turn, PA should just make more spots, make similar amount and good amount of money.
They are diversifying the grind spots already, but
the grind
for
spots
life
are
skilling, they're still offending in that part because
Yeah.
a lot of the materials are substitutes for each other. I said this in the last podcast.
Yeah.
They don't, a lot of the materials substitute each other, so there isn't a reason to hold multiple different types of materials. You just hold the best one.
Yeah. Yeah, we touched on that point earlier, that there is a good diversity in grind spots now, early game, mid game, and late game. I recently released a grind spot video highlighting that as well. But life skilling, like gathering and hunting, there's a very lack of diversity there.
Like troll blood and line blood, I believe is the same thing, if I'm not mistaken. And one is like way cheaper, and one is just like skyrocket high. Why would you ever gather or own the other, the counterpart? You just go for the cheaper one.
Yeah.
Don't tell people about the lion blood.
Dude, lion blood, it went down bad. I remember before sniper hunting came out, like lion blood used to have a very respectable price on it. So, I mean, even though meat and blood, meat at least maintained something for shadow lions, but the blood went down. But the breadth of Narcian and other things like the stuffed heads and stuff went up, so it's sort of balanced out. But
Like on NA right now, Lion Blood is 1.7k silver,
yeah, it used to be like 12 to 13.
and Troll Blood is 22,000 silver. It's literally 20 times cheaper to buy Lion Blood than to ever buy a single unit of Troll Blood.
What made the line blood crash again? Because it used to be like 12 to 13. Was it
Narcian.
the sniper?
Narcian,
No.
Shadow Lion hunting.
No. That used to be. Well, what happened recently? Because even when Narcian was the best
Oh,
hunting.
yeah,
spot before-
you're right. Something did happen. I can't remember what it was now.
Well, is there anything in sniper hunting that substitutes for lion?
No.
Then what changed it drastically?
I think it was just Narcian hunting because tons of people hunt lions because lion heads sell the most or
Yeah.
have the highest volume.
Yeah, no
Okay.
no one gather line for blood, and the blood they get only from the hunting.
Right. I mean, that used to be the case always, and even when Narcian was at peak, it maintained its value to a certain extent.
Yeah, Lion Blood used to be 8k, 9k silver, but I think that was when
Tiger Blood?
more people were gathering it. Lion Blood.
Is
No,
Tiger Blood?
No, Tiger Blood doesn't do anything. Does it?
No.
I think another
I know you
thing
killed
they
Tiger, but-
they should change, in my opinion, they should just go a bit easy on marketplace, like how we say like max prices and stuff in terms of like materials. They should just go easy, like like polystone. Just let like certain items just like be easy on them, and sort of half free market. They're a bit harsh in that regard. Like
How
small
would you guys
materials like that.
How would you guys actually feel about, certain materials not being tradable, but the end product is like a new cooking recipe where you can't trade the meat and the blood required to make it, but you can trade the actual meal afterwards?
What do you mean trade like to player?
To sell on the marketplace. Like, I know, Russ, you're just saying for them to go easier on some things, but what if like, those sub materials weren't even buyable and you had to go gather it yourself?
It can turn into a chore for some people.
I
So
mean,
it
is a
might take
chore.
the
You're
fun out of
playing the
it.
game. Gathering is, I mean, it's just gathering still. How does that
I'm
change?
not specifically saying just gathering. Like for example,
okay.
like right now, you get a material from underwater, right? And if someone like hates grinding underwater, and even if they are like whether they have grinding gear or not is another story. But if someone hates grinding like underwater, like that item shouldn't be just locked underwater. Like they can't craft the elixirs without that item.
Are you saying you want them to make more spots to gather stuff?
I mean, they can diversify, like rather than keeping it underwater, maybe like add that item. I also don't understand why is it part of a grinding. I would understand if it was a gathering item, but like
Which
why?
item? Sorry.
The thing you get from underwater and then turn it into elixir.
Yeah,
No.
so
Oh,
they
coral?
Oh
The
no,
blue coral.
I think he means underwater Sakraya, the
Yeah,
abyssal
scry,
essence.
yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like that. I like that grinders have something that they like you have to grind to get it in order to craft.
But if they want to
I
get
think that
rid of
makes
that
it-
item, they have to do life skill. What if they don't want to do life skill? That item just gonna sit there.
It's still profitable to buy. Like
yeah, you
buying
just
the
buy
elixir.
it. Nowadays, you can buy everything and just convert it and sell it.
Yeah, that's what I
Even
mean. They
like-
should go easy on the market, like with max price, so it's buyable. If someone wants to buy those elixirs and then turn it into like bigger version with their grinding thing,
Well,
then they should be able
that's
to
what
do it.
24/7 nodes do now. Is just like you have access to so many more recipes as a non-gatherer. So
What do you
your
mean
nodes are just
24/7 nodes?
your workers. I mean, your workers just work 24/7 if you have worker food in the family inventory.
Assuming you are online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because of that, they're cheaper on the market too. They're more available on the market, so you could just buy it even if you aren't online.
Let's just check right now. Frenzy, yeah, there's frenzies are just sitting there on the market now.
Yeah,
Like,
because people that are online have way more cedar sap because they don't have to gather it, right?
yeah. So Russ, that to convert those abyssal lessons, you can just buy it. Like
Oh, okay.
even
Yeah.
2 years ago, I used to just buy those elixirs, the demi hunt and the frenzy, I think.
So let's talk about with the current recipes. Which sub materials would you like to be non-tradable?
I'd want new ones to come out. I don't think we should mess with existing markets.
Make the
Like they make
if you make the like
make
for
a
example
new-
like any node material like nutmeg for example non-tradable, right? And you only get like 5k nutmeg, and then there's no gathering spot for nutmeg.
I was thinking like if they added like a new hunting spot and the meat wasn't tradable, but then
Yeah.
you can make a badass consumable out of it to sell.
They could have
Or to
made like
Imperial for much higher.
red meat. I mean, maybe tradable, but make it very expensive. So, if people really need to want to buy, they can. But like make the red meat like 30k or something. So it's not really, profitable to buy. Like if you are buying red meat, you should only be making like 50 million an hour or something, rather than gathering yourself.
I mean, isn't it already down low because the price is so down?
Yeah, but then it's
Yeah,
taking
fine.
the profit out of gatherers. Like right now, no one would gather red meat; they would just hunt. Like it killed the red meat gathering.
I mean, that's been the thing since Narcian came out, no?
No, it was maxed out.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, people would still not gather it; they would just hunt it.
I would gather. Some people like to gather. Some people.
I mean, that's more of like your personal preference at that point, bro.
It did kill gathering meat. Like the sniper hunting killed gathering
Yeah,
meat. The only
Narkion
way they
didn't
could
kill
revive
much,
it.
but the sniper hunting definitely did.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
didn't kill it. It was at a good balance. Like you could go gather it, but it was still better to hunt it.
Like
And then
No, it wasn't even close. It was so bad money.
so
yeah,
at 2k
I mean, it's
when
better
the,
to hunt it.
when the red meat was 20k each, like maxed out or sold out, with 2k gathering, you will still like get like 20k like meat or something, right, per hour. Versus like for hunting, maybe you get like 25, maybe extra 5k or something extra
Right,
from
right.
hunting.
But in hunting,
Sniper doubled it.
yeah.
Yeah, sniper. Like I was talking about
Narcian was at a good point. Yeah.
I was talking about the Narkion one. Like even that was Narkion spot, people will still gather meat. Like if they want it because it's max price, and it's quick and easy to burn the energy. People like to burn the energy.
I mean, I guess if they wanted to just do that. It was just more money overall to just hunt it, because even if it was like similar in terms of like 25k versus 20k, you're still getting the equal amount of blood. You're getting, Breath of Narcian, the stuffed heads and stuff. So,
But gathering was a bit more chill compared to Narkion hunting. If someone is
I
like
guess.
didn't want to pay too much attention, they just like
yeah,
semi FK sort of press one key.
personal preference thing.
Yeah.
I get it.
I mean, keeping on the topic real quick of sniping, they just added mysterious powder to barter materials, and that should push up the price of the sniper heads, because the mysterious powder node is actually pretty bad.
Oh, nice.
I told everybody on my stream to buy it. Now it's out of stock on NA. So if people can't just buy the mysterious powder, they're gonna have to, wait for the node, and then the price of the heads should go up.
Nice.
Even less of a reason to gather red meat at that point, because you could just snipe and make sniper head money.
All right, what do you got, Jordan?
So what about you, D? Something that you would change in BDO that would have a better future for BDO / new players?
Oh God, I just woke up.
All right, you keep thinking. I will say again while you're thinking, they need to fix the train on sniper hunting. It's very buggy.
The what?
The train. How do you say it? Train.
Terrain.
aiming?
Train. Is it
Oh,
train?
okay.
Yeah.
Terrain.
Yeah, you know
okay.
how you are aiming
Slopes and
at a
stuff.
mob, but it doesn't give you the target hitbox, even though mob
Okay.
is just right in front of you, like.
Mm,
And
yeah,
the
yeah, I
mobs
got you.
keep glitching on the environment, like if they are like
Yeah.
close to
They
mountain type or
desync.
something. Yeah, desync a lot. Yeah, they go to fifth dimension where time doesn't exist. They teleport.
Okay, so I don't know what I would add or change, but I can bring up examples from the past. So like when Manos came out, you could make vinegar, you could make pickled vegetable, and then sell your work on the market and make good money. Can you do that nowadays? I don't think so. So like
With
how
the
does a new
inflation,
player
no, not really. With the inflation,
yeah,
no.
so like how does it it's not even worth it. You're better off go grinding a mob or something. Like they've removed early stages of progression in like cooking, for example,
Mm.
to the market. So you can't be like a market. You can't sell your work for liquid silver. It's like you're investing into Imperials until you get to Gear 1. I used to sell pickled vegetable, all my hours of pickled vegetable, and just make an honest living. I had liquid silver at the end of every day
True.
because I could sell it. People were buying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game
I'm not
forces
sure
you
what they
right
can do for
now
that early game.
to push you
Yeah.
2K. Like
To
if you
go
want to make
further and
money.
further and further. Yeah, exactly. It forces you towards mid and end game.
Yeah, I kind of still think they need to first give us Tuvala life skill gear. I think that's the first step into getting
That
people
might
more
that
into
might
stuff.
that might help it because everyone starts at a higher master, basically mid game.
And also like more like a duo Manos is like a good equivalence, especially if they can give that XP buff of a duo Manos. And just to get them kickstarted in it, because right now players are like, oh, unless I can buy Tri or a Tet Manos, I don't even want to start. I'll just go grind, which I don't think is the right mentality. I mean, I understand the game pushes us in that direction, but they got to do more.
Okay, so what is one
Wait
thing
a minute.
What?
Someone just said, okay, starting next season, they're giving a Flamoris access through every season. Actually,
Oh my
Yeah,
god! So it's gonna be another 5 seasons for a new player to get full life gear through the seasons.
and you can't use that on a season character,
Yawn,
right?
yawn. They're just literally extending, dripping the. Why not just give it out all together, dude?
You can't use it on a season character, so
It can take 5 seasons to get the full wheel of free gear. Just hand it out.
I still think Tavala Master Gear is the play.
You know
At least
how
that's a
we
good start.
how we ask like changes or implementing like life skill season and stuff. They're like, yeah, we're gonna do it, and then they actually ruined it. They're like, oh, we increase the profit, but then you remove actually wearing the monos gear.
Yeah, they just doubled the amount of loot you get gathering, which was
Yeah, but
lame.
it's so little. Like it's nothing.
Yeah.
They can
And
double it,
is there
but
any?
also allow the
Yeah.
using monos gear. That will work.
Yeah. That's why I want to see that Tavala gear, just the equivalent of dual manos. I think that'd be a fair amount, like coupled with the season buff.
My TLDR is we need more recipes. We need more action on the market. You need to be like there needs to be more syncs where other people that don't do XYZ need to buy it to then keep that economy in a flow. And people who are doing it should be able to sell it. It shouldn't take a week to sell something.
Hmm.
A value pack runs for 28 days, dude. If I'm only selling something, once a week because of the sale volume, it feels bad.
Free to play every 2 weeks.
Yeah, like at that point, you have to min list it or only target a certain market. Like, it's not. It's boring.
okay, so that probably comes into the question that I was about to ask. One thing that you guys dislike and think isn't healthy for the game / new players.
One thing is like the amount of time it takes to get to hard cap. I know existing players who've been through the grind will always go against my thought on this, but playing very actively for 6 months should be sufficient to get to hard cap, in my opinion, and then you focus on like the side grades. Because right now it's like over a year of hardcore grinding to get to that point, and that's a big turnoff for new players. I don't care what anyone says. Many players drop along the way just because it takes so long to get to that point, and you can't compete with the top tier players like the end game hardcore PvPers. They're always going to have that advantage against you. Not
Do
a
you
popular
think-
opinion, but yeah.
So you like how they're kind of like speeding up the progression of stuff?
They always, every time they sped up the progression, they always move the gold post back in proportion. So
Like Crons are more expensive now.
and remember like the last time that we got big money increases with Elvia, like it was Serendia, Elvia, Orcs and everything, and Black Stars went from 45-ish bill to 100 whatever it is now, like 130, 150. So like they always move it back in the right proportion. Like they give us more
Yeah,
money
they just
per hour.
doubled the hours at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Which annoys me because I understand their logic for it. They want players to spend a certain amount of time to get something, but I think it's an unreasonable ask for a lot of people. You know, unpopular opinion, but I'm standing by it like 100% because
No, I agree with you. They're conflicted. It seems like they want to be a Korean hardcore MMO, but they want to cater to the Western audience, but they can't like mix and match both.
yeah.
Yeah, they call it sandbox, but it's not really a sandbox. 100%.
Yeah, I mean they got to change with the times. If they weren't able to draw a large player base back then, if they kept doing the same thing, nothing would have changed. So they want to grow their game, they want to improve it. So they got to take a risk. Ah,
Anyone
what else
else?
you got?
One thing that you dislike that you think isn't healthy for the game?
I'm thinking.
Enhancing for profit.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that.
Backwards progression in the life scaling side, it's so bad. On the Manos gear, it's so bad.
Bro, stop tapping.
Yeah, just stop
That's
gambling. Yeah.
That's why we needed D to get the Jeranoa. Now you're at now
I'm
you're
so
where you're
comfy.
meant to. Yeah, you're where you're meant to be.
I'm so comfy.
You can go gamble to your heart's content.
You know what they should do? They
No,
should turn the Pangea into like gray, unsellable, untradeable, and unputtable. Once you have pen, it's locked. That way, D is not gonna sell. Like I'm still not convinced that D is not gonna sell those Geras.
I don't think he will. Okay, but there was in Maple Story they used to do something where you can
Account lock, and then you have to wait like 7 days to unlock it or something. I need that on my
no.
account.
Back in the old days, they actually used to have this item which would permanently lock an item to your account. It becomes untradeable, unsellable, undestroyable.
I
Because
need
like
that.
people used to get hacked a lot, so they let you do the permanent lock, and that would just make it so you would
You
never
can't delete your progress. Oh my
you
god,
can't
I need that.
delete it. You can't get it stolen by hackers and stuff. Yeah.
All right, I think
All
I
right,
come up with something. I think crystal shattering should be removed in the game with how expensive they get. Instead, they should make the crystals rechargeable like alchemy stone, so it has like durability or something. And then if you are activating your crystal, you know how we say like apply, and you go to the crystal window, you apply, and then it just consumes the durability, and then you recover it with something else, like maybe like use like magical shards or something, and then to recover the durability of using crystals.
So RuneScape had a mechanic that would actually come in handy in this regard. So we used to have a lot of untradeable gear, which people used to wear in a PvP because it was really good stats. But when you died with it below level 20 wilderness, it just drop on the ground. You could go pick it up. So it was like free gear, free PvP gear. So what they did was whenever you died with a untradeable item, instead of making it like you could lose it or anything, you still keep it, but it turns gray and you have to pay a certain fee to unlock it again. So, for example, crystals, let's say you die and one of your crystal gets locked, and to unlock that crystal, you go pay like 100 mil. I think that'd be fair enough.
I think all this sounds complicated. What they should just do is take weak materials on the market, like they do all the time. Like Powder of Rift right now, there's 4.5 million Powder of Rift sitting on NA. Useless because it has no sink. Take this, take another couple of materials that are flooded. Let alchemists create crystal protection for X amount of hours
Sure.
and
that'd be
sell
fine.
it. And let them sell it.
I'd be fine with that. Anyway,
Yeah,
let me just
that's
be right
another
back.
way
You
of
guys
like
keep going.
recovering. Like, I mean, someone was saying like he's not gonna pay attention while grinding. You can make it like auto recover, or something like that.
Right.
And then another person was saying the amount of the recovery should be equal to worth of your crystals. That can be also an option as well.
I said 3 hours, 6 hours, 9 hours, 12 hours. That's the buffs that alchemists should be able to create that protects crystal breaking.
I'd be for that as well. But let me just be right back. You guys keep going.
I mean, when you say like, you wouldn't pay attention, I mean, you are paying attention to other things. Like you are paying attention to making sure like, your this thing on, what is that, the consuming food and consuming elixirs, make sure the alchemist stone is on. You are already paying attention to a lot of things. So the crystal will probably be a similar thing. Recovering crystal. You can put the materials on your family inventory. It's just gonna auto recover if you select auto recovery. And it's not gonna go like zero durability right away. Like you might grind like two days straight, and then it will deplete it. Or maybe like you grind like a week, and then it will deplete it. Maybe like it will deplete like 1%, 1 durability per hour, and then you have like 100 durability, right? And then that's like 100 hours or something. So it's not like it's gonna lose, every hour or two durability, like entire durability.
I don't know. I like the hardcore aspect of you lose your crystals. I think every grinder should unequip their crystals, learn the mechanics, get good.
I mean, beside paying attention aspects, like I heard, like the reason I mentioned this one, I heard the complaints about grinders, how expensive the crystal gets, and this is just like I just thought about on spot, like as an alternative. Instead of breaking the crystal, make it like durability or the food, like the way you said.
The major argument against this is that you cannot control your internet connection. So if you crash, if your internet DCs, you die. Doesn't matter how good you are. Doesn't matter how many mechanics you know. So that's not a decent solution. That's the problem. That is the counter argument there.
What do you mean, like durability?
Because if I'm a practice grinder, right? I know my spot. I know the mechanics. My internet disconnects. ISP problems.
So if you have durability, you don't lose crystal. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I mean in that case durability would help, sure, but then you'd have to pay for that durability.
Yeah.
Crystal protection for X amount of hours, I think, is a clean way to do this using materials.
But that's exactly the same thing. Like you pop a buff and it appears there for 9 hours. It's crystal protected, same as recovering. Clicking one button and it recovers, like same as using the food and it recovers the durability. It's exactly the same thing, right? So either way it will work, I think.
Yeah. I mean, some type of protection.
Yeah, or make it like a durability time thing, like where if you die, it takes like the durability takes a bigger hit till eventually you do have to buy another crystal. They could do something like that.
Or if the durability goes to 0, the crystal stays there, but you don't get the buffs from crystal until you recover it or recharge it or something. But what I mean with durability, it's not going to be durability per crystal. It's going to be durability entire crystal inventory. Like if you have like 16 crystal, there's only just going to be one durability bar that's, going to get depleted every time you die. Let's say you die and, it goes like, 5%. Even like, maybe make it per hour or something rather than, dying. Because you might die a lot in one spot versus another spot. So make it like per hour durability lost or something. As long as it's activated, it's going to lose durability. Maybe like lose 1% every, half an hour or something.
I think it should just be like every time you die, you lose 5% durability. So if you die 20 times, then you got to buy another crystal to recharge it. And then I think grinders would complain a lot less.
That wouldn't make much difference than what like the current situation though.
But it would be like the random crystal too that would lose the durability.
I wanna just call this out. It's not just grinders who are complaining about the crystals being lost. A lot of players all over in different regions, they die due to DC or server instability or their network. And not everyone has perfect internet, like
Yeah, especially non-NA, non-NA, or even in NA,
Yeah, I mean, like, it sucks when I get like a black screen crash and I die and lose crystal. But there are many more players who lose crystals just by existing because they're just because of where they are, where they're located, which region they're playing at, and that's something that turns players away. And I hate things that turn players away from playing the game because something like not having a value pack or their crystals breaking due to no fault of their own. Like if BA wanted to turn off like crystals breaking permanently, they could have done it by now. I just don't understand why they won't.
So maybe
there's an idea. They could add it to bells. So now people pearl swipe for server-wide bells, crystal protection as well for the hour.
I wouldn't mind that.
That would be money in their pocket, and then everybody would be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think crystal protection sounds good. Maybe make that item with like, as you say, alchemy or lesser value, like magical shards or something. Craft that item, and then it gives you like a buff or something. Or recover the durability of entire crystal usage.
Yeah, or that, or just flood crystals to where they go to min price, and there's plenty of them. So even if they die and lose one, the crystals aren't as expensive.
But it feels annoying though, like buy the crystal, put back in the socket, and I feel like it's a bit old school. Like you have 16 crystal, you lose one, and you'd have to get that one put in there.
I like crystals having value to them. I mean, it gives a lot of grind spots and now sniper hunting like value. Also, it's like a progression for players to strive towards.
Yeah, but there are some spots like you are tempted not to use your best combination of crystal because like if it's shattered, you lose 5 hours of work rather than your entire crystal inventory losing 10 durability, which is like maybe like friction of amount versus like losing the most valuable crystal.
Okay. So for Russ, it was crystals. What was it for you, Pansy, that you disliked?
Sorry, it was muted. The time it takes to end game hard cap.
Okay, yeah. Yours was time to the game, and then D's was volume of materials.
Volume of materials and substitutions. I dislike both those things, and I think they go hand in hand.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, here's a question. Is speeding up progression good for BDO, and why it could be bad if they don't continue the end game for players?
I mean, there should always be a catch-up mechanic in MMORPGs to make it more appealing for brand new players or returning players. That's like just the design of MMORPGs.
I guess my question is like, do you guys think that they're progressing people too quick to endgame to where they're not coming out with endgame content for players to keep pushing towards? Or
It's
do you
always a
think
challenge
the
for the
way they're doing it-
MMORPGs to bring, end game content for everyone else. They usually go like based on the server percentage. When they release that percentage saying like, only 6% of the player base has like 700 plus gear score. So on average, people are not even there yet. So they are not in the end game. So you are talking about like, 5% rushing to the end game and they're getting stuck with limited content versus like, 90% is still not there yet.
The thing is, like, the argument I hear is if everyone had the best gear, then everyone would just quit because they had nothing to do. But for me, the gear in this game is like a carrot on a stick. It's fun progressing to a point until you get to the point where each upgrade is like 100 hours of grinding. I think
that
that's not
part
very
is
good.
annoying. Yeah.
That's not a good mentality because like if everyone's gonna quit just because they had gear, then they have a bigger problem they need to address. They need to have content that would keep people around even if they had gear. I don't think that should be the main focus to keep people around, like the sunk cost fallacy or something. Like
Besides like progression, they should have like end game activities that people
Yeah.
enjoy doing.
I think like large scale PvP, even like PvP in general, there's a lot of scope for them to increase like more activity. Like AOS just goes away, and AOS
Yeah,
wasn't good.
AOS goes away. 300v300 is going to be twice a month. So like,
Yeah.
they limit what they want you to do,
Yeah,
and they
it's
don't want you to
pretty
open world because they're making karma family. What like, come on, dude, make up your mind. Like, where do you want people to go at the end game? Do you want people to fight? Do you want people to PvP? Only a little bit. So what do you do for the rest of the time? Do you life skill?
They want people to run the hamster wheel, spend 100-hour plus for each upgrade, and just keep playing the game. They want to keep people online.
I propose I
And-
remember like 2-3 years ago, I made a video about, suggestion for battlefields in this game to make it more, optional and more, just diversify as well. And also like players should be able to enjoy PvP at pretty much every gear level. If someone is like 600 gear score, there should be many options for them to enjoy PvP versus like someone 700 or 750. Like PvP
Agreed.
should be appealing for every gear level. Like people shouldn't just play this game for a year to get like 700 plus to be able to have a chance in like what battlefield we have, like RBF. Like I'm not even gonna count Solar because Solar has nothing to do. Solar to me is a mini game. Like Solar has nothing to do with your progression in this game other than your practice. Solar to me is like a mini game on the side, but the real PvP battlefields, we only have Red Battlefield, and that's been like 8 years old.
I like Solaire for them building up the system around it.
Yeah.
Like the gear system and everything.
Yeah,
I think they
when
did
I
a
made
good thing
the-
investing time into it.
When I made the PvP suggestion, I come up with like MMR system, and then like making like 20 versus 20, 5 versus 5, or like 30 versus 30s, or even like 50 versus 50. But based on like there's gonna be two type. If I'm gonna cut it short, like there's gonna be like two type. One is like a trial. You can use your gear, and it's on based on MMR. And there's also the other one is gonna be like a ranking sort of. How can I say, like?
Yeah, I would like to see something like BGs, like in WoW. You just queue in, and it's like objectives and different maps. And if they use like AOS gear for that, I'd be happy. Like the AOS system.
Like I think they should come out with that. I think it's called a Wrathy Basin or something like that.
That was one of
Where-
them. That was
where-
one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, or like your character basically sits on a point and it takes like 10 seconds to capture it. And then, but if basically it's two teams, and then if both players are on that, then it's stalemate. So no one has it. And then eventually you'll capture it and then gain a point. And whoever gains up to like 150 points wins or whatever. I think that would be a really, really fun game mode. Although I think
No.
people said
RBF is not that. Listen, RBF is just go in with meme gear and roll around. Like it is capture the flag and stuff, but they need to like have like balanced numbers. Like
Yeah,
in
objectives
RBF, it
are
goes all the way up to
lame
60,
in
and
RBF,
like,
and also yeah, the balance is a big issue.
no one plays RBF to win. They play it to just PvP. No one's really going for the wins.
They play to test
Like,
their skills, like new skills, or
that's their
try a new
skills. No,
character
their
or
meme
something.
build.
Yeah,
Yeah, whatever it is. Like I think they need like proper 10 versus 10 or 15 versus 15 BGs. We can queue into and play whenever and have like normalized gear. I mean, that's just an activity where everyone can enjoy from any stage of the game. That's not the only thing I want to see because endgame still needs a goal and an objective. But that would, that would help out a little bit.
And that's just a PvP side. They need
Yeah.
to add this, like a reason for community building is what I see the angle here. Like there's
more
no
group
reason
content.
there is no life skilling group content except for whaling and cow hunting, and both of these are like utterly boring and dumbed down even now. Now it's just like what is it, like 3 whales in one spot, then you server swap. Why can't we do group trading? Like they totally missed the mark with active
Yeah.
trading, dude. They totally missed the mark with active trading. They could have made open world trading and added a little bit of risk reward to it.
Yeah.
So
I'll
you
be
have
right
a
back.
reason to be in a group with friends, trading together.
I agree. They need to add more group stuff. Like they could add I think we talked about last week or the week before about the boss splits. They could come out with like a guild boss splits boss or something, or multiple bosses where the whole guild can do it together, and you can raise the difficulty with the whole guild. I think that would be cool. Some sort of reward that is worth doing. Okay.
So
we talked about
Yanis
speeding
say
up.
problem is PvP is the only playstyle in the game that you have to pay to play. Why not make it that you can actually progress with PvP like every other life skill grinding? Like I was always thinking this and saying this, like the reward for PvP should be a lot more. Like at the time when we only had RBF, I was saying like why not make the RBF profit maybe like 30% of even like 30% of what you would get from grinding. People should be able to PvP and still progress, not lose their time.
Well, in other Korean MMOs, you could progress with PvP. It was called open world PvP, and you would steal other traders' items, and there would be a reason for the trader to get gear so he could protect himself, or there would be a reason for the trader to have friends protecting him so that you couldn't just come in and steal his stuff. But they made some boring AFK version of trading. Totally missed the mark.
You make it arcade reference. Let's make arcade reference.
Arcade, Silk Road Online, like both of these are Korean MMOs that had open world trading perfectly implemented.
I loved my donkey, man.
Gear,
Speedy
a reason
Gonzalez.
to have community building, a reason for your guildies to help you out. Like in Arcade, if you were not in a guild, you were lost. Like you needed a guild to protect you.
You could still do with your donkey. Like I loved my speedy donkey.
I mean, you could make one of those skateboards or the cars to trade, but that's like just one trade slot, one trade pack, or 4.
Yeah, the penalty is you get way less money.
Yeah,
because you can only move.
You can do it
tiny
solo,
amount.
but if you're moving one of those big wagons with like 12 or 16 or whatever it was,
yeah, you needed friends, right? You needed protection.
So what weapons would what weapons would you put on the trading wagons? Like would you put like a somewhat flame tower or something, or turret or something?
We don't need to make it complicated.
No, like if you have to protect it, let's say you can probably weaponize it and then someone using the flame tower. I don't know, it will be fun in my opinion. Or like archer towers or something.
I'm not sure.
But the game is fast. Like in it might work for like new world style, like slow movement character, but in BDO people just move like a lot fast. Like they move like so fast. It's hard to use like towers and stuff like, or the cannons or stuff. But those things would probably make sense like in a game like New World where people actually moves very slower.
Bay says in Russ's chat, I trade for 5 hours. Someone comes along and steals it all. 5 hours of my life wasted. Why should I continue playing the game?
Don't
there's a
trade
risk
5
reward.
hours. I mean,
There's a risk reward. And then in Arcade, for example, you would still get a percentage of your stolen goods. In Silk Road, I believe you also got a percentage of your stolen goods. And then again, you have a reason, Bay, to join a stronger guild, join a group of like-minded traders who, community building.
or pay
You
mercenaries
get
some money to protect your goods
hire
while you are
people.
traveling.
Higher protection, exactly.
And they would only get money if your goods deliver successfully, or something like that.
Yeah.
So we'd like
I
to
remember.
see. So everyone pretty much agrees. All of us agree. More group content and
Yeah,
like more
big time.
updated
Of
content.
course,
Big
yeah,
time.
yeah. Absolutely.
Do you think they're like heading the right direction though with the content that they're coming out with?
Hell no.
No.
They're making everything more solo. Even open world grinding is now wait for your hour, wait for your morning room hour. And there's
Okay.
more money in the morning room hours, so you're like actually inclined to do it.
They should improve the group
One
loot.
second, let me read my
Group
Discord.
loot, they should improve it a little bit more. I remember like group loot was okay during when we were grinding like in Salson, but after that they messed it up. Fancy back?
Yeah, I just joined back. My Discord was dying for the stream.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I was saying like the group loot option, they should improve it, like group auto sale or something, or party division.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Pansy was talking about that too. How group grind spots, for example, should be more silver than solo grind spots. So then it
Absolutely.
inclines people to want to group and yeah. Plus, it takes time to recruit, etc. So you should be rewarded for that.
Yeah, Spruce is right. Sawson's, the reason why we grouped up was we couldn't pick up everything fast enough on our own. So it wasn't actually balanced for any group or anything. It was just the way players did
Fine.
it.
Make Polly's Forest a 5v5. It's the same thing, It's like the same thing almost. It has the mob density. Make it a 5-man spot.
Mm-hmm.
And let people fight over rotations.
One person can just gather, right? You just put life skill gear and gather the mushrooms.
I like it. And then the truffles get distributed to each of the players. I like that.
Yeah.
Exactly. You needed one life skiller with
The
a high
designated
mastery.
lifer. I
Yeah.
love that.
You can select certain items to be divided between characters rather than going on the market as well. Like let's say you got 3 capras, or let's say you got 5 capras, everyone gets 1 capra or something. Like at the end of the like something like that. If it's like an odd number, then odd number will always go to marketplace. But if it's like if you say like divide between groups, or prioritize dividing between groups versus selling the market. So if it's a odd number, the odd number will get sold. But let's say at the end of the party, you have like 10 and you have like 3 people grinding and everyone gets 3 and that last one, gets sold on the market and divided again. It's not hard to code.
Yeah, it's
Or everything
hard to
can go
predict
on the
what EA
market.
wants to do, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, is that they're so focused on extending the individual journey, right? Like you said, pushing the end post and carrot on the stick, and then that's it. Once you get to the end, and then what? You wait for your 300v300 twice a month. You wait for AOS. When that goes away, then you go back to RBF. And then what? You get forced into life skilling.
You retire in life skilling.
yeah, you get forced right into life skilling, and then guess what happens there? all the materials substitute into each other. So really, you just do like 2 or 3 recipes per life skill, and that's it. Like your cooking storage could have nothing but Valencia and Balanos meal in your set.
Exactly. The other meals are dead.
You never have a reason. Yeah, you never have a reason to have Ari hazamats like coconuts. Forget about it. You don't need coconuts.
Unless you want to push XP. Coconut cocktail.
Which is, I mean, cooking. It's cooking, dude.
Right.
The fastest life skill.
Yeah. Okay. Another question I have is, how do we feel everything's balanced, or are there things that need boosted to today's money an hour?
BDO never
Fishing.
balanced. Never
Fishing
will
is
be.
terrible money.
They need to bring up those dead life skills, man.
Farming
Fishing
is
trading.
actually bad money.
What? What are you saying?
I mean, by today's standards.
It's still 1.8 billion an hour. You just can't do it continuously. You only do it 1 minute at a time.
That's my problem. I can't do that hour.
Yeah,
And it takes like a month to do that hour.
it does.
It's
That's
not a
just how the
sandbox
game is.
experience. That's my
just how the
problem.
game is.
Yeah, but that's my problem. It's not a sandbox experience. I can't be the farmer that I want to be.
Yeah, like Arcade, man. Good times.
So Ion
In
Yana
Arcade, we
say,
literally sit there. We literally sat there and started planting. By the time we were done planting, the first one started coming up. So we'd go and harvest those. So it was like a continuous process, and it was actual good money in the beginning.
the lands was okay, but they have to race each other to get the good deal or good spot or buy off someone else.
I mean, is what it is, right? I
Yeah.
mean, there's always that scarcity.
So Ion Yana say, I heard a good idea. Let's say, for example, for every grind spot that it's clear at the respawn rate, every other spot gets 10% drop rate. So if an entire area gets filled with grinders, each rotation gets more percentage drop rate. This will encourage people to cooperate to fill each rotation.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, but then wouldn't that lead to like, aren't there already designated best rotations at a spot? Then people would fight. I want this spot. You go to the bad one. That cooperation might fall a little thin.
With the new changes
Going in the right
to
direction.
declaration, like Dex, dual force spot is pretty much dead anyway, right? Unless someone
Yeah,
is
not like
grief,
anybody can do anything about it. You just grind on top of them now. And then ultimately you get funneled into the Marni hour room. Just, all right, I'm going to my private room.
Did they change to 12 hours now? Minor Realm?
I think on some servers. I don't know if it's on NA yet.
So earlier, D, we talked about them coming out with Marni for gathering and like hunting. Do you think they should do that or no?
Oh God.
I mean, like really, like a lot of the time you don't really get griefed as a life skiller.
Yeah, we
I
are
would
very
say,
respectful bunch, right? If someone is gathering herb, you just say, hi, how are you? Or maybe say like when you're
Yeah.
gonna leave or something. And we never have issues. I think grinders wouldn't have, like I level 6th account, like this is my 6th account to end game. I never took anyone's spot from anyone, like not just like life skill. I'm talking about like only one of my, this like the last 2 accounts is like life skill accounts. The others was pretty much full grinder accounts and PvP accounts. And I leveled accounts to like 300 plus AP just pure grinding and never took anyone's spot. If I see someone in a spot, I just swap server or go to another alternate spots, and it's still doable. You can still progress the end game without griefing or dueling anyone. It's just like some people. Yeah.
I mean, that's what they find fun though. Like some people like playing the game like that. Like they go up to a spot DFS, they win it, they feel good. That's the
yeah, but
sandbox
it shouldn't be
experience,
enforced to people who doesn't want it. Like, okay, you like it, and you should only do it with people who likes it as well.
I mean, yeah, I always said no to DFS, but they'd flag up and then I'd fight them anyway. And then I'd come back and keep
I
fighting them
usually
till
just
they give
say
me my
like, you know, you
spot.
want to fight, just take. I say like, you know, let's do GVG. Who's gonna stay longer? But
Okay.
because there are times like, you know, there was many times I noticed this. When I was grinding, like someone is at spot, I just go say hi, and then, you know, I say like, you know, how long you're gonna be here, and if they say like, you know, I'll be an hour, and then I'll say, okay, good luck. And then because like servers get to know me, like I wasn't even streaming at the time, because they got so comfortable. Every time they see me in spot, and they just leave me alone as well. And sometimes, you know, they duel between each other, or like they fight between each other, and then they say like, you know, like I'm pretty much close with one of them and close with the other one too, and they're like, okay, Russ, you grind while we'll be fighting. Like while they are like doing, you know, GVG and stuff, I just take the spot. So sometimes being nice is also bring nice things, you know. You being nice to people, and they are gonna be nice to you as well.
Yeah, I mean, now we have a lot more places to grind. So before there was a lot of scarcity in the grind spots. Like for example, when just Stars End was the best spot, you know, it's very limited. And now we have so many options at every stage of the game that people aren't fighting. We have Marni, we have so many various spots, we have LVS and stuff. So, you know, I don't think there's any negative issue about that needs to be addressed in terms of like the DFS and stuff. Like that's how people wanted to settle it, and that's how that was like the
Yeah.
thing that was adopted by the community. I don't think there's any
And with
issue
the
with that at the moment.
class balance, like this game will always have meta classes. Like it's just like dual full spot with so many options available. I think it's an old school now. It shouldn't be enforced to anyone to dual full spot. You know, if some people still want to do it, they can, but you know, they shouldn't start
Yeah, it's their
griefing your
freedom. It's
spot.
a sandbox.
Yeah, like they shouldn't start griefing your spot and trying to grind on top of you because, you know, you refuse to duel. And then they blame
if
on
they
you
add,
because you
like,
refuse
yeah.
to duel, and then they make you the bad person.
Yeah, what if they added like some kind of rock, paper, scissors where you could actually do that with other players and then
In
for
all
the
honesty,
spot?
I prefer like
Just fight, man. Just flag up and fight.
I just prefer
It
like
would yeah, but life skillers. You get a rock, paper, scissors. That'd be so
Flag up
funny.
anyway. One shot each other.
I just
Pull out the
prefer
matchlocks, Trina
first come,
matchlocks.
first serve, man. First come, first serve. We never had issue with life skill. I'm sure grinders follow the same strategy. They wouldn't have issues as well, unless they have like huge egos. Otherwise, you know, first come, first serve. If someone is leaving, if the spot is free, you take it. You know, simple as that. If someone is already grinding, just let them be. That's my idea.
Here, hold on. I gotta finish this mini game.
You know, I don't think that's like a big issue that needs anything addressing, Russ. Like it's
Not
such a
right
rare
now.
thing that even
Not
happens.
right now. Like it was 6-7 years ago, but not right now.
Yeah, the game's progressed. It's not an issue anymore. I never go into a grind spot and people ask me. People ask me like how long I'm there. I haven't been asked for DFS in such a long time. Like it's not an issue anymore. And that's like the beauty of like a sandbox. I mean, we're free to do as we will, and that's the risk we take playing the game.
Free to do as we will in their limitations.
In their limitation.
Sure. In the game's limitation, sure.
No, in their limitations. The game.
Who's the day?
I could plant 100 farms if they let me, but they
Yeah, that's
only
the
let me
game's
put
limitation.
10.
Active farming is what D wants. Guys, let's make it happen. And personally, I liked active farming in arcade. It was cool. It was nice having a big farm.
I want more group life skilling. I want group life skilling, dude. There is no group life skilling. Whaling is not group life skilling.
What kind of activity would you like to see? Group life skilling?
They missed the mark with trading, dude. It could have been trading. Trading was the answer.
I don't know what they're thinking. It made no sense. I was shocked that that's what they changed it to. They added like all these random mechanics to it, which we didn't want to see. Something similar to bartering with a little bit of caravan gameplay would have been cool. That's all they needed to do.
I talked about this a few months ago on my stream. I would find it it interesting. Like, I would probably find it interesting if they make the energy double or triple and make it family wide, and then that might be a way to, you know, like if you are in an alt, you know, you can still recover energy, and it's like family wide. And if you want to gather, you can stay in the gathering spot longer. So that might be a bit different change. Like if they just make the energy family wide and maybe triple it rather than, let's say someone with you know, ecology, or, you know, currently have 500 energy, make it like, you know, 1,000 or 1,500, but make it family wide, and recovery also family wide. What do you guys think about that?
Well, what will it do for us?
So, for
Like,
example,
we already-
if I'm cooking in one character and hunting in another character, and, you know, gathering in another character, you know, while I'm hunting, you know, my energy is recovered. While I'm cooking, my energy recovers. I go to my grinding character, and, you know, while I'm grinding, my energy recovers. And then, you know, all of a sudden I have 2,000 energy, and then I can just go burn that 2,000 energy in, like, you know, gathering or something.
You just don't want Jordan to build up his 2K alt army. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But
They'd lose so much money on weight and costumes and stuff
Listen.
for rerolls, and I don't think they'll do that.
But what do you
I
think
mean, like, if
about,
there
like,
was, like, an
quality of
issue,
life changes
like-
as a, like, Arcade has it? Arcade has labor system like that?
they have a labor system, yeah, but it's a different game, right? Like, we have the ability to infinitely burn our energy almost, right? Even if you, I'm not sure with the mini games. Do you run out of energy even if you're chugging pots like the
Yeah.
regular energy
Instantly,
pot?
like 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, you will burn an entire pool.
Yeah, you've run out of energy no matter what.
Even if you're chugging both of them?
Yeah.
Depends on the spot you're at, but at any typical normal spot that you would plan on gathering, you run out of energy.
You go to Pilgrim right now, 500 energy, you will maximum survive 15 minutes.
Like, even with the pearl shop and the regular energy pots.
Yeah, double potting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, maximum half an hour. Let's say half an hour.
Okay, that's an argument for doing that. You know, being able to recover, because then you can hop to your. I understand what Russ is saying there. You can hop.
And the
into a
energy
different
pot is like
character
so expensive. Like, you shouldn't even count the pearl energy pot. Like, that's so expensive. Even with that one, it's like, and the yellow energy pot is like sold out anyway, so it's not
Is it?
always available.
I guess they want us to use the energy gourds.
So let's say you don't have any energy pots, and you go to grind spot, like gathering spot, all the way travel to Pilgrim, you will finish like 500k in, like, you know, 15 minutes and done. And then you have to run back again.
The chat, in chat, Raz was saying, what if they let the tags recover the energy? I don't think it's the issue of that, like, because you take your character all the way out there to gather or something, you're at the gather spot, then you go play what I think Russ is alluding to, you go play an alt and recover that energy, while then hop back into that gatherer or hunter, whatever.
Yeah.
Or the gatherer. So, like, if your tag is there, then your tag, you have to move your character away anyway.
I think making energy family wide would open a lot of doors to life skills.
Interesting.
You
Never really
can
thought about that one.
you know, roll your workers like a lot. You know, just one character, just log, and, you know, family wide roll all the workers.
Sure.
I don't know. I like having alts.
I mean, you can have alts for other things, but not like having family wide energy doesn't limit you to one character. You can still use your alt for other things. It's just like your energy pool is family wide, and you can use that for alt as well. Like 99% of the player base doesn't use the energy on their alt anyway. It's just like, goes like, like for example, mine, right? Let's have a look. Mine is like all my alts.
Well, nowadays
been
you
full.
should be investing in nodes.
Yeah,
'cause
now
you can do that. You
It's
can
much
do that.
easier.
Yeah,
you
like that's one thing. Like if you're a grinder and stuff, like, you know, you have node connection.
Well, so that's the thing right there. I'm gonna stop you right there. If they added resource generation to node level, You know, like if life skiller's got a little piece of that action too, then it'd be worth it for us too to have level 20 nodes for everything.
Yeah, but
Gathering, even workers.
also the energy recovery on alts, like the DC'd account, like, disconnected accounts, is very low anyway. Like, it might take like a week to recover like one character, or maybe 2 weeks to recover. So I feel like if you make the energy triple and make it family wide, you will benefit more from from energy than having like alts that's recover to full energy in 2 weeks time. Because like you can go to grind character and grind while recovering, and then swap to your gathering character and finish all your energy at the same time in one time. Or you can go to hunting character and still recover energy for your gathering character.
Jordan, any other topics we need to touch?
If we could create a new progression in one life skill, how would we make that progression for that life skill? Like, is there any life skills that we would change the way people progress through them?
My answer would have been ocean life, but they just changed that a little bit, made it a little bit easier, I guess. So they're working on that in that direction already.
Sailing, is there any mechanics to sailing to level it up other than daily still?
Yeah, they added the pirate ship. The pirate
that gives you sailing XP?
That's what I heard. I haven't done it myself, but that's what I heard.
I thought it was XP to the sailor. Chat, can anyone confirm? Are you getting sailing XP, or is it the sailor?
Yeah, you get the sailing XP ribbons, the green ribbons.
Oh. Interesting. Both. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Gives drops that give sailing XP. Okay. Yeah, I wonder how that's gonna play out. Honestly, the leveling aspect, never really had any problem with any of them. I mean, you're just sinking time into it. I guess the real question was just how much time a life skill is asking. Like, for example, bartering and sailing. Those are a lot slower.
I mean, trading the passively and actively is like 10 lifetimes to get to the end.
Yeah. So, like, I'd like to see them add some filler so that all your life skills can be leveled up to a high level and stay relevant.
Yeah. So basically change the XP on everything. And like, I also think that they should make all active XP more than passive XP.
Yep.
So like maybe double fishing or double fishing active XP or whatever per hour than
AFK gather,
or however much it is. Yeah.
The thing is with fishing, unless like there's very few people who'd still do it like actively unless they fix the money per hour with it.
Right. So like, if
what is an ideal money for active fishing? Would you say 500 million an hour, or 600?
If they have the right mastery and level. I mean, I think it
so
should be
at
as high
2K,
as anything else.
would you say like between 800 to a billion?
A billion? I don't know.
Maybe not.
At least depends if it's like a hotspot thing, like if they had to go far as hell away, in the ocean, find it and then capitalize on it, fish it until it disappears.
I think giving like billions or like the money numbers will probably not ideal. Maybe like, as I said, percentage versus like if we take like a grinding profit or grinding per hour money as a percentage, like like base absolute, like these days everything gets sold based on American dollar. So if we take the grinder money as as an American dollar, and then you say like 30% or 40% or 50% of what you would make from grinder based on same amount of gear. Like, we are not going to compare like 750 grinding gear versus to you spend like 50 billion on a life skill gear and assuming that you want to make the same. No, like if you spend like 300 billion on a grinding gear, that should be equivalent to spending 300 billion on a life skill gear. So in that aspect, if a grinder makes like, let's say 100%, would you say like certain life skills should make like 50% or 70% or 30%?
I would judge that based on the amount of effort it takes. Like, for example, I was saying if it was like a hotspot fishing where you had to go far away in the ocean, actually find the spot and then capitalize on it, yeah, I think they could go up to like that 1 bill an hour, but you wouldn't be able to sustain it because you had to constantly keep going and getting the new hotspots. But
So if
if
it's
there was an
not,
additional mechanic of effort involved, then sure, I wouldn't mind seeing their numbers be up
so if
there.
it's a chill one like current one, like the active fishing, would you say like 40% or versus the money you would make from grinding, or 30%?
Yeah, I mean, if it's just sitting in Valia, if you still, even if it's just active fishing near land, if there should at least be some other aspect to it where you have to go find a good spot, or an abundant spot, and go and make money. I think I wouldn't mind seeing like 400 or 500 mil there,
Okay.
provided we're getting the XP, which is, you know, relevant there. Because like if you're only making 400 or 500 mil an hour nowadays, there has to be another aspect to why you're doing it.
No, I think things should be a lot closer if your end game life skilling.
Yeah. I mean, like if they added like an activity to fishing, right? Like you have to go to a hotspot and then you have to go take your fish to the trade merchant. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it at the same, as everything else.
Yeah,
It
it's
just
like
needs to be proportional to the effort.
yeah, it's like harpooning. Like harpooning, they have it to where you get like level 3, I think. Actually, let me look at fishing real quick. Yeah, to get level 3, you just need 1200 mastery. Why is there no like 1500 mastery plus 4 and then like 1800 mastery plus 5 and like make it to where it scales proportionally to where you're making really good money actively harpooning.
Yeah.
But you pushed your fishing level, Guru 30 with full Tet Manos, etc. with pen fishers.
Yep.
So that's like some stuff they need to fix up.
Is D back yet, by the way?
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, shit.
I've been here.
And then it's like trading. Like trading, it shouldn't be a trash crate fucking whoever has 400 trash crates running equals most trading XP. It should be whoever is actively trading will get more XP over time than and then obviously if you run your whole empire plus active trade, then so they need to like change that as far as XP goes, but they also need to make it to where you can even get to Guru 50 and have some sort of progression leading up to where maybe you make more money with the with the crates, and you also make more money with the active trading per hour to where it's like proportional to today's silver per hour.
Yep.
Sailing, yeah, they would have to rework all of sailing to make it to where you could get it to Guru 50. I think the new sea monster hunting thing that they came out with, which I haven't tried at all, but I heard it was like decent money an hour. It's like 500 mil an hour or something like that.
That's what I heard. The Margoria fleet, right?
Yeah, and you get sailing XP.
And you get you're working towards the null, the Ebenruth null. You get the moss covered maps.
So that'll be interesting. And then we already talked about like the progression, like they need to make like Guru 10 meal, Guru 15 sub recipe, or
Guru 50 meal, Guru 50 alchemy elixir that only like 10 people in the world can do.
Yep. They need to because it's like they did it all the way up to Guru and then they like stopped.
They didn't even get to Guru, dude. They did it to like master and like cooking, processing. Only like spirit perfume was Guru alchemy.
They forgot, man. They forgot about it. Wait, Guru alchemy? When was that?
I think you need Guru 1 alchemy for lightstones, and I think you need like M20 alchemy, or it might be Guru 1 for spirit perfume.
Nah, it's less. It's less. I have much less.
All right, well, lightstones then, fine.
Yeah, it's a lightstones. Yeah.
So Toki said they should exchange they should make the energy pod exchange like the Node Alt energy system. Yeah, I was asking that as well. Like when they brought it, I'm like, oh, can we exchange the energy pot as well? People say like, nah. Yeah, that would be that was the first question I asked. That would be a
That would've
good
been
quality
nice.
of life change. Yeah.
And then I have two last questions. If we could change monetization in BDO, would we? And what would we change?
More costumes, dude. More cosmetics. I remember like a few balls ago they said we have a dedicated team to making costumes, and we're gonna be coming out with verbatim a lot of costumes, and I don't know. There's just not enough.
Yeah, and then they come out with some which aren't that good looking. The recent one, the Stygian Wrath one, is amazing. It looks beautiful. They did a phenomenal job with that. They need more stuff like that, quality costumes, because they are expensive, man. Like 20 something bucks for a costume in a game. Yeah, you got to work for that. But in terms of monetization, I really can't comment too much because like they need to make money. If they're not making money, there's no game. And they can't even set like it's a company. They're not going to settle for just like 5% more than cost or something, or 5% of the revenue or profit or something. They're not going to settle. They're going to try to do their best, and they're going to try to keep growing. What we have to make sure is that it doesn't hurt the game current economy. Like it doesn't make it worse. There's a lot of things that are annoying to buy on the marketplace, but that's how they keep their lights on. Is what it is. I just like to see them as Steve just said, like the costumes. Like if they have a team doing it, well, how come we're not getting a costume every week? It doesn't have to be for all the classes. Just keep them coming.
And let me craft them in game too. At least some of them.
At least the older ones. You know, one thing they never do is like a dedicated series of weapon skins. You know, like other games, whenever they release costumes, they also have like a series of weapon skins for all the classes, their characters. I guess they bake it into like some of the costumes, which are like for every class, but there's a lot they can do if they wanted to.
I want
think
Cron
that
stone sellable. Like I have like 20,000 Cron stone free comes from event, and I'm not upgrading. I want to be able to sell them.
Just enhance for profit. You love that.
Yeah, right. At least turn the Cron stone into like capras or something, or memory fragments, or exchange them with something.
Just tap a Tet Blackstar, sell it.
Nah. No, I feel like it's wasted. Yeah, I would
just
rather
save it.
keep it in
You'll need it
storage and look
eventually.
at it and polish my
You'll need it
crons.
eventually, man.
I'll polish my crons time to time, open the storage and get a cloth. Shine them for future event. Become like a Jordan, store all the trash.
I think they need to change the value pack, the moon, the camo blessing, and just make it one thing.
Yeah.
And lower the cost of it. I don't think it should cost like $45 to play BDO a month.
$20, 30 days.
Yeah, it should be somewhere around 15, 20. I mean, that's what like WoW does. That's what Final Fantasy does. All these other MMOs.
Increase the in-game money that they go, so people can actually have the option to be able to buy it.
Yeah, I already put that suggestion in. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, right now, like people buy costumes for, to sell on the market, but no one really buys.
Yeah, but that goes against
packs.
marketing psychology. If they keep it out of reach, right? Like a non-payer who ends up paying is more likely to then end up paying again. Like they get a new customer.
What if you just buy the value pack from an NPC rather than player base? Like let's say you have like how many billion would you pay for a 30 days comma value pack and the old moon from an NPC?
They're not gonna remove income source from themselves.
It's not removing. It's an alternative. Like it should be.
Oh, I think what you're trying to say is like sell Apex or like sell the Pearl box.
No. You buy you go to NPC, let's say 10 billion, and you buy 30 days value pack or something. Maybe like 20 billion, you buy 30 days value pack.
Then where is it generating money for Pearl Abyss? Why would they remove that? I know it's an alternative. It's like in addition to
I mean,
being able to buy
people
it from
will
cash out.
buy off the pearls if they have the money. If not, they still give like free to play players an option to be able to earn the silver,
They
put the time
did.
in the game, and then buy it from
It's in the
NPC.
loyalty shop. Now what I suggested was they increase the pearl to silver ratio, so it's like the best thing for people to whale on instead of just costumes, but put a limit on it so it doesn't kill the costume market.
Just let people sell pearl boxes.
I mean, my alternative is not
Ah.
pay to win though. Like my alternative is like
Yeah, but it's gonna lose money for
self-sustained.
them, and they're known not to remove their money sources. I mean, I'd prefer that. Obviously,
They
I would
did
want,
with furniture though.
I-
That was
and no one was buying that shit anyway.
I feel that would increase their sales even if you made it cost less. Because I mean, a lot of people just buy the value pack anyways, and they disregard the others unless they get it for free.
Maybe only like small percentage of people will pay like a 20 billion for a value pack, you know, from an NPC. Most people like, you know, will
Might
probably
be really expensive.
But if you are combining like value pack with Kama and Old Moon, what will be the ideal with the current inflation that you know, you can buy off an NPC if you are a free to play player and give you an option? Because right now you can't really play this game like value pack in
5 bill.
what 5 bill.
Yeah, I think 5 bill. That would be a good price.
Okay, I was happy like 20 bill.
Nah, that's still 20 hours of gameplay on average. So
That's like a week gameplay.
Yeah, that'd be too painful.
But still, it gives
Yeah.
give them an option.
Yeah, once again, it's just a matter of like, what's the point of even thinking about it when that's gonna cut down their revenue, and why would they do that?
I don't think it would cut their revenue. Maybe it might even increase because it's gonna bring some free to play players in game.
The free to play
well.
players are free to play for a reason, though.
But they support the pay to win players.
Yeah.
You know, more free to play players means like more, you know, body the pay to win players can butcher on the map.
More fodder right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's free to play players always supports the pay to win market in any game. Once they kill the free to play players, it kills the pay to win players as well. Look how the Diablo
Not like they ever
Immortal did.
killed it. They never really even had the free to play player base, other than, you know, they gave them the value pack once every 2 weeks, a day every 2 weeks, and that's how it's always just sat there. They
Yeah.
never changed anything for the free to play player.
Yeah,
And if anything, they've improved the experience for the free to play player because we require a lot less weight in inventory than we did years ago, and they've consistently made it a lot more friendly in that regard.
I mean, value pack in
But I would
loyalty is a meme. You get like 1 day or something. It's just
Yeah, 1 day every 2 weeks.
yeah, it's
But yeah, if there were more value packs coming on the marketplace, I think that'd be better because I'm sure a lot of players throughout like the various regions and over the course of a year, they'd think, hey, I feel like playing BDO, but I don't want to spend money to activate a value pack, and I don't feel like I can enjoy the game without a value
But
pack.
I'll give you my honest opinion. Like if I wasn't BDO partner, I wouldn't play this game because I can't afford it.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pay like, you know, $50 every month for a game like you know.
No, I understand.
that doesn't even have perks for being G50.
Soon, D. Soon. I'm sure they'll get to it eventually.
Mm-hmm.
We have to. I was saying earlier, D. We have to make forum posts, and we have to push it and drive traffic to it, and get upvotes there. That's the best way to get suggestions out there. That goes to anyone, not just streamers, YouTubers, like even ordinary folks. You can rally your guildies and push a good idea through. All right.
And then the very last question: do we think the community has changed over the years we've played in a good way or a bad way? Is BDO more friendly, or is the community toxic?
Community overall, I feel is friendly. I don't think there's a lot of people willing to help you. Back then, it was a lot more gung ho and PvP oriented because the culture of the game's changed. Like back then, it was like grinding. It was on site. You see someone, you flag up, and you lost so little karma back then. By the time they come back and challenge you again, you recovered some of it, so you could go on for quite some time. Overall, I think the community's gotten more mature and mellowed out.
What community? What we have like group content in this game? I was playing solo the whole
I
time,
got a
dude.
string community.
I've
That's
been
my
playing
business.
solo the whole time. There is no group content in this game.
I mean, you have to put in the effort to find like the community and
I'll create a group
active
content
guild.
for you, D. Like if you have 30k channel points, I will level your hunting for an hour. There you go. That's your group content. You can make easy 2 billion or 3 billion. With your master, you can actually make it. Like imagine if I'm killing and you are like close to like 2k hunting, and then you'll probably if you're lucky you can even make 5 billion. Who knows? There you go. That's your group content.
What about you, Jordan?
Yeah, I think the community's been a lot better nowadays than it was back then. I think it was a lot more toxic back then. Like, because I just remember like watching other streamers and people always stream sniping them, especially like the new like bigger the new upcoming streamers. So, and I've known a couple streamers that have actually quit because of the stream sniping.
Yeah, back then they couldn't. They didn't have like the privacy feature and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that shouldn't be a thing though. Like if you as a streamer report somebody for them stream sniping you, it should be taken care of.
Yeah, they don't. They're like, it's a part of the game. I tried. Yeah, it's just the way it is. I mean, it's like
being followed on servers.
Yeah, that's. I think when it's like targeted harassments where you're constantly following them and there's a group of you like a guild targeting someone, that is bannable.
That should be punishable. Hell
They
yeah.
do punish that.
Yeah.
But if it's a one-off kill on a stream snipe, like
they can get away
that
with
applies
like
for even non-streamers. Like if there's like a group of players from a guild, they're like targeting another guild's player, and they're
doesn't have to be a group. Could just be one guy following you around.
Even if it's just one guy, they will take it if it's a targeted thing where you're constantly hopping around and chasing after them.
Yeah, I shouldn't have to hide my server on stream just because of what.
I mean, listen, it's just the nature of the game. It's an open world PvP game. It's on a live server. It happens. You just take
I mean, they can get away with grinding. It's hard to detect, or but with life skill, imagine you are with your shy, and then you're gathering herbs and beer. Someone comes and constantly kills you all the time. Then that would be like definitely. I remember like one time there was a guy, he came and I was cooking in my house, and he just came in my house and then put a sign saying like, don't watch this guy or something. And he just sits on my bed and stuff. Like, why can't I lock my door?
That's funny. That's actually
that is so funny.
Oh.
Shit. What was I gonna say? But yeah. No, I was saying the community I think is a lot better nowadays than it was in the past.
I like the community in NA versus the other servers.
You didn't like Mina? Is that what I'm saying? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, Mina. Mina. No one likes, even like the players in Mina doesn't like the server they play. Yeah.
Yeah, it must be frustrating being on like a smaller region and stuff, and
so many disadvantages. Yeah. And people, because people struggle more in those servers, they are more prone to become aggressive and become more toxic. And we only have like they only have like 7 server or 8 server, and then there was only like 3 server like LV or something. Like imagine like entire servers fighting for like 3 server orc spot or something, like 2 years ago or something.
I think it's time for BDO World. Combine all regions. You can freely swap between them.
Yep. And if you let's say I'm playing like in NA, I want to play, NA is better ping for me, and I log in NA, but the game is like same. Whether you log in NA or EU.
Yeah.
Like that should be like, let's say 50 NA servers, 50 EU servers, and then maybe 50 Asian servers, and then you can just like log in whichever you want. And obviously, if you log in a server, that's better ping for you. But the market and everything is the same, like a one global server.
Yeah. I mean, like, just be freely able to move through. I think.
Yeah,
that'd be
make it channels, like 50 channels for
You're gonna
NA,
have,
50
like-
channels, like
Yeah, well, you're
NA1,
gonna have
NA2,
worse
NA3,
ping,
and
but
yeah,
that's
channels
fine.
like that.
You want to play with worse ping? Play with worse ping.
Yeah. And you can find a common server. Like, let's say you want to play with your EU friends, and then they get better pings. You might be playing with like 200 pings or 300 pings, but it doesn't matter. You just want to play with them in the same.
Do what? With
You should
your
be able to
EU
group.
friends?
Well, let's
D,
say
this guy is assuming there's group content in the game. You hear that? No, I get you, man. Now,
Yeah.
one thing I really liked about Diablo 4 was that I could play with everybody. Like,
it
wasn't
was like that,
based
right?
on the server. Yeah, so
Diablo-
like in Diablo 4, if you just party up with someone, you get transferred to their server and done.
Yeah, they could do the
And,
same thing.
I was able to play with everybody. It was great.
I mean, since every BDO region belongs to PA now, there's no reason to like IP block anyone from anywhere, or like they can just merge the servers as they like. It used to be like
Yeah.
different publisher made sense, but right now, it's all one company, one publisher.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that should be the next expansion. And they should also come up with a new client. Thank you. Fix all the issues.
New engine, that will be hard. I think
I
engine is
gotta go
fine
forward.
as it is. Did you say you have to go?
Pretty soon. I gotta go join a group for Olins in a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god, this guy has group content.
Get on my level.
I thought maybe you were gonna go
Yeah.
have lunch or
Content in
something.
the game.
Yeah, that was pretty much all the questions. So
I think it was a good session. I'm glad
Yeah.
we three of us actually stream at the same time. We try to reach out more people than what we usually do. So I think it worked out well as well.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Yeah, normally I was kind of hoping like if it was in the evening, then I wouldn't have streamed. Like, but now since I'm full-time streaming and YouTubing for the next couple months, morning to evening, I gotta go live.
hell yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
You're
so I was
on
pretty
what, like
late.
day
I woke
4?
up late.
Oh, no worries, man. No, I know you mentioned you were streaming late and it was a bit early. It's difficult trying to find a time between all four of us, with Russ being on Australia.
Yeah, I mean Friday right now it's 4 a.m. So I could manage because I'm busy. I tend to get busy like on the weekends now. But I used to be free on the weekends, but right now I'm busy. But at least weekdays, I can be able to do it.
Is that gonna clear up again, or?
I
is
mean,
it
today is
just,
Friday. Today is Friday,
Mhm.
so I don't have work tomorrow, so I can stream late night like this. Start like let's say 11 p.m. or 12 p.m. or a.m. and then 4 a.m. now. I mean, like we
Yeah.
literally went like 4 hours or something. Like we normally would take
Yeah,
2 hours
yeah.
or something.
I
So
think,
today was a bit extra. Today was a bit
Today was
extra.
more of a freestyle,
Uh,
just hanging out with the boys,
yeah.
the chat, and everybody.
Most people do podcasts like an hour or so it wouldn't be a
Yeah.
problem to do like midnight an hour
Clearly,
on a Friday.
clearly, we don't plan our shit out. No,
So
Jordan,
D,
you did a
are
great
you
job.
working normally on Friday? That's why or you just like your sleeping routine messed up, you don't want to wake up like
No, it's because Friday's my day off, and then Thursday I go fucking wild. Thursday night, I'm up till wee hours in the morning, like I'm off tomorrow. You know, like
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, that makes
makes-
sense.
I understand.
Yeah, or you could sleep early on Thursday and wake up
yeah, that's not
Friday
happening.
early and then play entire day and then sleep early
the
again.
And enjoy it.
That's probably the
Let the man
ideal,
enjoy
right?
it.
You know, wake up 9 a.m., play till like, 11 p.m., and then go to sleep, and your next day you're fresh.
You know, one thing that since I'm streaming during the day, it's nice being able to hang out with like my full community almost. Like I always miss the EU people when I stream at like 10:30 Eastern or something, because it's just such a odd hour for them. So it's
And
been
you are
nice.
more energetic as well, right? In the morning, you wake
Yeah,
up, have
dude.
breakfast, and then you're like, oh, you can stream 10 hours and it treat like a work. But while
I've been
working,
streaming like 7 hours every day. Yeah,
yeah, like imagine you have
I
a
do
job,
get tired,
right?
but
You do 9 to 5
Yeah, yeah,
job,
yeah.
and then you get like 5 o'clock. You already been tired. Like imagine that 9 hours you've been streaming. Like you could have stream, and then
Yeah.
plus on top of that another extra 5.
no, like before I'd go like 3 to 4 hours and I was done because it's like I
Yeah.
started like 10:30 and stuff. But now I've been able to keep going to like 5:30 from when I started like not between 9 and 10:30 in the morning. Yeah, it feels great. I'm definitely a lot more energetic on stream now. It's nice, but
Yeah, that's
just
what I like.
circumstances.
That's what I did because like I would like working and then streaming fucking sucked
yeah,
because I could only do it for a couple hours to be dead inside and then
yeah,
Yeah, there are times like, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna stream today, and then the clock hits 5 o'clock. I'm already like, yawning and stuff, and I'm like, oh, and
Yeah.
a little bit hungry. You're having dinner, and then you're all sluggish, and then you can't really get the community hyped up when you're like sluggish as a streamer.
yeah.
You need to be energetic while streaming a bit.
Exactly. Anyway, I think
Unless your
think I
chat
gotta
is like
continue.
running like a mile in an hour, then the chat makes it keep going, so you don't have to be
my
too
boys
engaging.
are like me, man. You see me like during the whole podcast, I'm just grinding something mindlessly. They never stop either. Can't stop, won't stop. So I don't mind if they get a bit quiet. Get those gains, boys.
Yeah,
I mean,
everybody's doing their
I
thing.
haven't been streaming for over a year, and then I got back, but I'm not regular, so I probably stream like once a week or twice a week, and that's why
Yeah.
people hard to
Gotta
catch
enjoy
me
yourself.
up. Plus location, Australia, I can't really fit into either American or EU time zone.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, dudes. Jordan, great job coming up with the topics and the questions today, man. It was fun.
no problem.
I'm gonna have to listen to this one back. You're gonna have to put this on YouTube ASAP, Pansy.
I'll get it up there in the weekend.
Have a look at
Yes, to edit.
today's video on my back log, see if everything is good, and then you
Yeah.
can download it.
All right, sounds good. All right, dudes, take it easy. It was a pleasure as always.
No worries.
We'll run it back in like a couple weeks.
Thank you.
And
Next
I'll
week.
hit you guys up for that group whaling we're gonna do together.
Oh
later
man,
in
I
the
thought we
day.
were doing
Hell
sailing.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
my
we
God, how many tongue rods do you have, Pansy? I just saw your storage. Open that again.
it's my loot tab, so I just been saving it all up until the prices go back.
Oh my God, dude.
Oh, we got quite a bit.
That's a little gamble session, if you ask me.
I knew you'd say that.
That's a tat or 4 in there.
No, that's just a solid little 28, 29 billies, Just me.
Nah, gamble it. It could be 100.
It could be 100.
It could be. That's the magic word. It could be.
All right, guys. I'll take it easy. Pleasure.
Later, brother.
See ya.
Yeah.